You don't understand. Undying Scarab. You can ask Gray. I put hours of effort into one scene. Not like, oh, it took me hours to write it. No, I mean after it was written, it took me hours of editing it because I wanted to put colored text in that would work across all 3 versions.
You okay there, Atin?
Let me put it this way. I'm real glad we don't have a game this week, buddy.
I'm sorry, man.
But it took me literal hours of testing, days. Ended up being like full days. It took me in the end to get it fucking sorted out. But in terms of actual time spent, hours. Testing to get this scene correct, get the colored text to work properly, to just get everything done. And the colored text was important too. It wasn't just me being frivolous. Like, the colored text was important because it was showing Taylor was doing something very different.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Undying Scarab when she fought Malagos and yeah.
I remember when Sneaky was working on that chapter, because you sent it to me to proof once or twice,
like
right?
5 times.
But yeah, like, I remember him sending me these chapters, and I was like, he's really going all out on it. Like, he's putting a lot of work into this. It's really cool.
It's his magnum opus.
And you know what they fucking said?
Oh my god.
Looks like crap.
No, they didn't even mention it. They were saying shit like, "Oh boy, I hope KT gets owned," and it's just like that wasn't even the point of the fucking chapter.
You gave them all the user experience.
She just fought the Dragonflights. Kel'Thuzad isn't even in the fucking picture no more.
Yeah, it was.
I feel your pain, man. But I did get some pretty good reactions. We actually got an omake.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I always love those.
Yeah.
Unless they're porn.
It was a short one, but it was a quality one, and we had a good time. My co-author and I. I hope you like the chapter, and feel free to just give me as much criticism.
I mean, I hope you won't mind that we're pretty much just going to read the court scene, unless this is just the court scene.
It's almost only just the court scene. You can skip the first section. That's just world building and plot. You don't need any of that. Just go straight to where Taylor starts, being a stubborn, petulant, and offended teenager. Which she's being a Karen. I'll be honest.
Right. So, just at what part is the? Let's see here. Okay, so the water, Taylor Hebert was girl. Power was temporary fix. Leak. Primordial seawater. Okay, here it is. The echoes, seawater, shapes.
Fontaine, because she was in full costume, right? Oh shit,
Fontaine,
I've got to work
okay.
now.
Well, there you go.
I hate that I noticed that right as I look at it.
Hey, don't worry. The same shit fucking happens to me and Gray all the fucking time back when we were updating. It was just like, we were like, oh, wow, this was such a great scene. Reads the scene. We forgot like 9 words.
Yeah, I think the problem is Wyvern and I, we know how the other person writes and thinks, so I think we just automatically in our heads fill in those words.
Oh, no, it absolutely is. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, no, I would say, God forbid, anyone who's like seen my writing, poor Max having to edit for me. My brain.
Poor Max having to edit for me.
My brain is so bad about being like, yeah, you put this word in there, you're good.
Sneaky editing for you is not editing; it's basically co-writing.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I am glad I was able to have Taylor mature a little. You see, the first time she tried to use hydrokinesis to yank guns out of people's hands, she broke their fingers.
Well, yeah, that's when
Amazing.
yeah.
Don't see a
So,
problem.
She's learned that having the magic all-dissolving sea on standby lets her do things like simply disintegrate the guns instead of people's hands.
No, you should probably disintegrate the people's hands too. Just to be sure.
They can't hold a gun if they don't have a hand.
What was it? What is that great quote from Asmongold that he said? It was something along the lines of, if you cut the hands off of every thief, you know how many times they would steal? Twice.
Twice. Yep.
Except for the really good ones.
They would do it 3 times.
Yes. I mean, and then of course you have the ones that are like Robin Hood that just gets away with it forever.
Well, because he's got his merry men.
Yes.
Yeah,
So as Alvor asked, we have the chapter up here. If you scroll up a tiny little bit, the link is there as well. This is from his Genshin Impact Worm story, in which Taylor gets Archon powers of water. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets postal wars in her head and
Right.
is essentially being groomed to be the next Hydro Archon of Earthbend.
Context. What's an Archon?
God.
A god.
A god.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would say there's one
Elemental
of
gods,
wind,
specifically.
water, earth,
One
and
for
then
all
isn't
elements, yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning.
And then
Ah,
isn't
okay,
there
okay.
one who's also the god of money?
The
Probably,
Earth God.
That's
That's Earth.
Oh, it's the earth god.
Earth.
Okay.
He's money and contracts, and if you break a contract, he makes a meteor drop on your head.
Based.
Fuck.
That's the
I
meteor guy.
want
Okay,
that.
okay.
He's our guy.
the god of Ancapistan.
You should see what he does if you try counterfeiting.
Oh
True.
shit! What'd you do then, brother?
The only context you guys need is that this is the Canary trial, and the judge invoked Taylor's name. Her name is Fontaine. In reference to the fact that she managed to basically punt Ziz out of the atmosphere at the cost of plot things which are not relevant to this scene. And so Canary looking like Ziz vaguely, the DA invoked the name of
This is Punter.
yeah, basically when it came to the Canary trial, he said something along the lines of now that powerful heroes are able to defeat monsters like Ziz, we, the normal people, must show that masters can't control us either, and yada, yada, yada. Just normal political speech. He invoked Fontaine's name, though, and Lisa, seeing an opportunity to basically go steal Canary, riled Taylor up, poked at her, and gave her just enough information that Taylor would get pissed and haul off and go do something about it, which is what she did.
Classic Taylor.
The local PRT and Protectorate were relatively moderate in response. The local cops bubbaed it a little bit. They sent in a SWAT team, but you'll find out the rest. And just the big thing is that Legend was the nearest powerhouse that could respond, and I wanted to have him act both as a foil, but also as an adult that is reasonably morally good,
Right.
dealing with an angry teenager possibly having a very dangerous temper tantrum.
Right.
And so that's sort of the inspiration you guys gave me the last time I was on the show, and
Yeah.
So yeah, get into it and let me know what you guys think.
Sure, yeah. Let's read it now, and we'll laugh about stupid people later. Let's see what we got here. We got Fontaine, because she was in full costume, right? Possibly needs a second comma there. I assume she's, like, talking to herself, or narrating to herself. Not really.
Yes, that's it's scene setting. I try to establish that there is a difference between the cape persona and the normal civilian mindset, as a way to
Right.
show different expectations. Taylor is still awkward, nervous, and sometimes just unintentionally fumbles. Fontaine tries
minor
to-
grammar quibble. Then I would like try and I don't know, put like a fucking dash in between costume and right then because I
Sure.
know the cadence you're going for,
Mhm.
but you know if someone's
Okay.
just reading it out.
No.
It would- yeah.
I can use that. Yeah.
Simply floated in midair, waiting for most of the panic to die down. Though she was a smidge impressed at how many times the court's security force could yell at her to get on the ground or put her hands in the air or something or something else equally as inane. You know you're going to hurt yourself yelling that much. Half a dozen men continued to point guns at her and try and bark orders as she hovered her way across the courtroom. Half a dozen men continued to point guns at her and try to bark orders.
Continued. Remember the try.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I was going to say
Not
more
sure
like
too.
half a dozen men continued to point guns at her, barking orders as she hovered her way across the courtroom.
Mhm.
While barking orders.
Because
Or
they're
something.
barking while she's moving,
Mhm.
but the guns were
They're
a
not trying
past
to bark
tense
orders,
action.
They are barking orders.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The lack of dialogue tags is
They're
hilarious.
failing.
Yeah, that is another thing. Is dialogue tags is that it not technically not necessary, but I personally am a great enjoyer of them. But yeah, so again, that's just a personal style preference quibble.
Oh,
So
and
I
what
don't really
is
bring
this?
that up too often.
That much period. Close quotes. Capital she. What? Why is that 2 sentences? Or is that just in font doing it his way?
Where exactly is that? They did in fact have
In the
the
chat.
choice taken. Didn't say I didn't warn you, and gunshots. What line exactly? I'm not seeing it.
The one in font just put up.
The cop one is something he wrote. The Taylor one is what's in the story.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So that's just sign not paying attention. Let's see here. Most other people cowering. Yeah. Okay. So, a couple were taking videos, though, so that was nice. Okay, man. Listen, you can all calm down and be reasonable, or I'm gonna take your guns away and put you in the corner.
Nobody puts a baby in the corner.
When she started floating towards the judge, they did.
I gotta
in
say,
fact,
hang on, I just gotta say that I don't think that's Taylor because that's incredibly well reasoned and restrained.
Oh, don't
Which-
worry. She's about to go completely out of order on that one.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is Taylor thinking she's being restrained.
Okay, good. Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah.
They did, in fact, have to get their toys taken, but that was more to do with the fact they started blasting away willy-nilly and people could get hurt. Willy-nilly.
I don't like it.
I would say, like,
It's
willy
too
nilly
childish
makes
for the
yeah.
atmosphere.
Well,
it makes
yes,
her sound
but
very flippant. I would.
it's
I
also
would
not really
substitute it.
doesn't really match Taylor's
Yeah,
attitude.
Yeah, I would. I
It
would put
doesn't
it with
seriously-
Unless she's getting
recklessly
more childish.
or-
Unless she's getting more childish. If she's getting more childish in the story, because
intentionally
obviously we
being
haven't seen.
childish.
Yeah, because we haven't read the rest of
So
this
she's
story because
saying
this
they're
is
being childish.
there's a lot of
I-
backstory to this. But is she getting more
Fontaine
Fontaine
is
childish?
supposed to be more dramatic, more sparkly. Well, I
Yeah.
see sparkly.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be
It's
honest.
supposed
Rather
to
than
be.
writing Taylor Alval, it feels like this is Fiorina in Worm with that sentence, rather than actually being Taylor.
To be fair, that's entirely possible that that's exactly what my co-author was writing there then.
Mm.
But yeah, please continue.
Which is what makes all of this hilarious. I really want to see the cop point of views where Taylor's tone and voice and body language have been incredibly hostile despite her attempts. Yeah, that is fair. That is also why we did occasionally in Undying Scarab go and do those interlude chapters, and where we're just like, yeah, so Taylor is over here doing this thing, and she thinks this is totally normal. Here's the perspective from everyone who knows magic. It is not normal.
What in the hell is happening?
No, like in this situation, she has quite literally random Kate from a different city who showed up at a closed court session, approached the judge's bench, ignored every command and attempt to get her to stop, and then has simply started dictating terms. She gets shot in real life.
She's
Oh, I
out
mean,
wide.
yeah.
Yes, she would very much get shot.
And then again, there's also the accent. What's up with the accent?
Might be me, might be my co-author simply writing things in a certain way.
No, it's totally understandable. It's just, trying to understand it.
It's even weirder because the water area is French in Genshin, so that sort of accent shouldn't be there.
I mean, it's a southern accent.
Like, I only posted this because I wanted your feedback, so this is good. This is useful. I can try. That's what I can promise for that, I'm afraid.
No. I mean, I'm just trying to. What I'm trying to separate is what is the author accidentally doing and what is supposed to be showed.
Yes. No. She's trying to be flippant. She's trying to be. I don't necessarily want to say cute, but she's trying to be. I'm in charge. You're misbehaving, children. Why don't you just do as I tell you?
Okay, I don't know how she's been written for the rest of it, but if I was trying to express that, rather than have her, because the willy-nilly is in her head. I understand what she's trying to do externally, but internally, assuming you're trying to keep the readers on side with Taylor, I would have it be that they did have to have their guns taken away because they were, they were being reckless or imply that the guards are misbehaving children, right? Saying willy-nilly makes it sound like she's flippant. Make the guards sound irresponsible and dangerous. Maybe throw in a comment.
And that's the other thing is that you do. So you guys do this thing and they're like, how do I say this without sounding too insulting? Because I'm not actually trying to insult you on this.
No. Say it how you need to.
No, because it's like I said, I'm not actually trying to insult you on this, but I'm not sure how to frame it without being crude. It's basically Baby's first internal monologue. In that you found out that you could include the character's thoughts in the narrative, and so now you're just doing it.
This isn't me shitting on my co-author when I say this. He's a really big fan of that. And I have been working with him on that, but I think part of it is I'm sort of swimming uphill because he and I both write independent of each other.
Sure, yeah.
And he writes almost only anime stuff.
Right.
And where he writes that anime stuff, they're a huge fan of the internal monologue stuff.
Oh, no. I'm not saying the internal monologue is wrong. I'm calling it Baby's first because it's much like when a 13-year-old learns a swear word and they just start saying fucking everywhere. And it's kind of just like...
Yeah.
Framing
it's
it... Yeah.
There needs to be more continuity. They need to be in the moment and there has to be a sense of time progressing. Yeah,
Because, I'm going to invoke another story... Scorched Earth, Shattered Steel.
Oh, you don't get to invoke that dead relic.
Yes, I do. I'm invoking it. Specifically...
We're necroing the shit out of this thread, boys. Continue. I'm just getting the gif.
Play the fucking Rave Master. So, basically, my approach in that story was the main character, Valkyrie, is batshit fucking insane. And I showed that by both her dialogue, but also how she framed the narrative, using words like willy-nilly. using interjecting random thoughts and processes into the middle of actual normal narrative, because I wanted to show that yes, she is unhinged, she is childish, her grasp on reality is loose, and she's got the attention span of a fucking, hyper child, effectively, right? In where she is narrating the scene to the audience, but also at the same time she's just injecting her thoughts everywhere because she's just that far gone. And obviously her doing this here isn't the same way, but it does. I've had a comment to sign on this a couple times, very rarely, but it has happened. Where the random injection of personal thought into the narrative was kind of just like, huh? This didn't really need to be a thought bubble. This could have just been a fact bubble. The whole, she needs to take away their guns because people could get hurt. By making that like a thought bubble, in my opinion, it becomes less a fact that people could get hurt from all these bullets flying everywhere, and more, in Taylor's opinion, people could get hurt when guns are fired.
In fact, I think even if they wanted to keep the scene exactly as it was, but simply have it be, okay, to be clear, the willy-nilly has to change. But if they kept it external, if they made the statement external, right? Sit in the corner.
From dialogue to narrative.
Yeah, switch it from dialogue to narrative, or even if you kept it as dialogue, but you made it an external statement from Taylor, wherein she says, "Well, now I have to put you in the corner because you're going to hurt someone being reckless like that." However, right? However you want to phrase it, but make it less silly, basically, right? Then it's going to keep the readers on side with Taylor.
Well, not only that, but there's also this great moment, and I'm sure Atin's going to instantly know what I'm talking about. In Batman, there is a scene where Batman's in court and a voice in his head says Bruce, and Batman instantly knows that's not him thinking, because he doesn't call himself Bruce Wayne, he calls himself Batman in his own head. Because people don't really flip-flop. Normal people, that is to say, people with a single personality, I should say. There we go. People with a single personality and an internal monologue. I have to be careful with my words there. Don't really flip-flop between like, oh, I'm acting as like a hero right now and I'm supposed to be childish, so all my internal monologue's going to suddenly become childish. That's not really a thing. That's the sort of thing you find in the method actors / schizophrenics. Which, if you want to show her as... Well, she's not a method actor. Taylor's never been a method actor. She's terrible at acting. All she does is...
She's been a meth actor?
Yeah. Taylor doesn't know how to act. All she knows is do.
Method, yes.
His method, yeah. Taylor's not really the sort of person, again, like I said, you don't have to take this as absolutes, because obviously we don't know your story in its full entirety. But Taylor is not the sort of person that, in my opinion, does things like, this is my cape identity, this is how I'm going to act. She'll say things like that. She'll say things like, oh, I'm going to be outgoing when I'm this cape because I want to separate it from my civilian identity so no one will guess between the two of us. And then never fucking does it, or overdoes it. Stanovinsky would resurrect himself and slap Taylor.
True.
Yes.
Taylor, no matter how she acts, her mindset is still that of a victim. So everything is an attack on her eventually.
Right,
yes.
but again, this is a very different Taylor. Like, this is a very, very different Taylor.
I'm
who
talking
has
less of
literal thought
perspective here because obviously we don't know the story. I'm talking more of methodology, which is very slow to change in pretty much everyone I've ever met. So that's either you can either if I'm wrong, that either says something about the types of people I've met, or if I'm right, that says something about the types of people I've met.
To be fair, you've met some real shitters.
Yeah. Is this a critique of characterization or a critique of the narrative prose? I would say this is a critique of both in a sort of way.
Yes.
Because again, the problem here is that I'm trying to separate what the author is accidentally doing and what they're actually trying to show in the story. And that's something that a lot of authors get caught on. And I'm not not trying to shit on people. This is just a problem. It happens. This is just the nature of thought. Is that the author might go in thinking, okay, I want to show Taylor being dismissive in this scene, but the way they end up showing it isn't how Taylor would show dismissiveness. It's how they think you would show dismissiveness. And before Science says anything that's Twitch bannable, no, it's a thing that can happen to anyone, not because of certain levels of certain things.
I wasn't gonna say anything this time.
We could feel it in your soul, old man.
I saw the beacons; they were lit.
Thinking it.
Brother, you
Beacons were lit,
were
yes.
thinking it so loud, every local psychic Pokemon knows it.
Indeed. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying to separate the two here, but so far from the narrative, from what I got through skimming through, from what I'm getting from reading out loud here, it is going to be a mix of both, where the prose is just wrong, but they're also kind of not showing a concrete depiction of Taylor's narrative. We can heal. Then no ceiling birds were harmed in the making of this. But yeah, like I said, willy-nilly. It makes it very hard for someone like me when I read a story and I see willy-nilly, didn't warn you. And, it's not even like, I'm not even attacking you. It's when I see American authors write Harry Potter and they use American slang. Or when I see British authors, Cora Lauren, writing American stories and he's using British slang. Like, bloody hell, mate, them fucking cream pumpets. It's just like,
Mate,
okay.
you get a license for that.
No, but I've literally seen Core use like bloody before. I've seen Core use like dog's balls and shit like that. It's just like, yeah, it's like a bunch of other British slang, and it really just kind of throws me on the story because it's the author effectively localizing the story.
Now you can get away with that if it's like your own fantasy original world, sure. But if you're British and writing Ruby and throwing British slang in, you're doing it wrong. Unless the character is.
And if you're American and
from,
writing
like,
Harry Potter, you're throwing American slang in, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
Torch instead of
character's
flashlight.
American.
Yeah, true.
I don't mean to be rude, but
Yeah.
when I said I was on a timer, I didn't mean it.
No, I'm.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into. I'm trying. We're
Yeah,
not even deviating here. We're just talking about your story.
Yeah, but we can move on. He understands the point. So
okay.
we'll move on.
We'll
Yeah,
skip
let's
through.
move
Yeah. Smidgen of suspicion. They couldn't hear over the screaming. ... And the gunshots. ... And more yelling. So yeah, this is more dismissive. I'm not really sure if this is supposed to be Taylor being dismissive or this is the author just messing up.
Is he using multiple ellipses back to back?
Yeah, he's using multiple ellipses. Frequent ellipses use is
I'll do
going
that.
on here. No, I mean it's fine, depending on the
it-
character. Again, this is
In
all
thought
narrative.
It's fine. In narrative, it's not.
It's fine if the narrative is coming from the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The last that last bit happened when she just dissolved their guns. Water molecules vibrating against the plastic and metal of their weapons fast enough to sorta ... scrape everything away. But wait, there's more. Yeah. I'm getting really mixed messages on the narrative here.
I guess.
I made sure no one's fingers got broken this time. Why, yes,
amount
she
of
was
heat
totally
that would
serene.
put
Why do
off.
you ask me? All right, scooch over, old timer.
Sign. It is literally just magic.
Okay. Fuck you. It's
Yeah,
magic
no, to be
magic.
clear,
Yeah.
she's been given the powers of a literal god. She is literally performing magic.
I thought she might have to obey some physical laws.
Why didn't you
No.
let Sign keep arguing? I need a Sign L on the bingo. Yeah, because I'm trying to actually get this done. That's why, Aussie.
Yeah, no. She thought she did. That was one of Fosilor's first lessons: is no physics or suggestion at best. And
Wow.
that was part of the early story, was specifically that Taylor keeps going, but powers work X way, and Fosilor's goes, no, you think they do.
I appreciate you doing that, because
Okay.
too many people just let Taylor instantly accept things changing.
I had a lot of people actually push back on that, specifically about the whole, oh, you would just accept that magic has rules like science, and I tried to, in story, gently rebuke that along the lines of, this is such an alien way of thinking with such alien principles that it is not a one-to-one conversion.
Well, it's not just that. It's if you grew up in a world with literal superpowers, and everyone had a biological superpower, and then someone came along and was like, actually, there's magic in the air, and by clapping my hands twice, I can make lightning bolts appear because I invoked Zeus. And people would be like, okay, yeah, you have a lightning quirk, buddy. Okay, shut the fuck up. It's the presumption that anyone in an environment would just accept things are different when things did not work that way previously, and they have physical proof. It's not like us. We don't have magic. We don't have supernatural shit. We don't have quirks. We don't have capes. We don't have anything. We would be more likely to be like, oh, okay, cool. Magic just exists now. All right, because we don't have anything to compare it to. Now, a fair number of people will be like, oh, no, physics. This is all just weird applications of physics. Those people will be very small, though, because we have a lot of prepping. Narrative prepping, effectively, to accept that magic is real, or to accept that magic exists.
Somebody, quote unquote, throws a fireball. Well, obviously they've got some kind of napalm launcher up their sleeve.
Yeah. Right. Like, there was the whole weird thing with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, where yes, Peter Parker is making webs in his hands,
in his wrists,
his wrists,
in his wrist web gland.
Is there just some weird channel from his nuts to his wrist that's spraying web fluid? Yeah, I don't think you thought this through, Sam Raimi, and you did not think what the internet would do.
Yes, he shoots white fluid that's sticky from his hands.
He has to kind of jerk his hands, though, to make it come out.
Yes, indeed. He has to prime it.
It's a very deliberate motion.
Yeah.
Sorry, all right, let's...
Anyway, scooch over, old timer. Again, flipping. It's
to a judge.
I'm getting less of a carefree vibe and a more of a disrespectful bitch vibe, but that's just my opinion. The judge, a smallish man who had turned rather red in anger, opened his mouth to reply, no doubt to make it clear how powerful he was and how much authority he had, and how she was going to be in great deal of trouble. Taylor didn't care. Here's another failure of consistency. Unless this is supposed to be intentional, you literally just a couple lines ago reinforced that Taylor was thinking about herself as Fontaine because she's in costume right now.
Yeah. Also, if you're trying to make her seem carefree, again, this is just making her seem.
Really in
Again, I don't
character
know
as
enough about.
Farina?
I don't know
Yes.
enough about Farina. I don't know.
Previous context to this, I think literally the last scene of the last chapter before this was Lisa winding her up.
Sure.
So if I fudged that or fumbled it, yeah.
No, it's you're not that part's not being fumbled. Taylor's on her crusading warpath. That's totally normal. I'm believing it. Our problem
And
is
she's
more the
intentionally being a
fact
shit.
that's more the problem is you're saying that Taylor is supposed to be more of this like carefree, whimsical hero, but all I'm really getting is, yeah, I'm playing a chaotic neutral guy in D&D. Yeah, he stabs babies and robbed the orphanage because Lamau.
Yeah, no, she declared herself a villain, TM, specifically so she could do whatever she wanted to. But I am trying to. No, you're right. I'm mixing my signals with this. I had her early on. This was a key part of the story, was that she heard Lung doing Lung things, so she literally grabbed him and threw him out of Brockton Bay, physically sent him rocketing across the ocean with so much force that if he. What was that?
I said, okay, yeah, normal reaction to anything that comes out of Lung's mouth.
Yeah, it's just if he had not been as high tier of a brute as he was, and if he had not already been partly ramped up, she would have just killed him outright. Completely and total accidental casual murder.
Yeah, and I mean, Taylor almost did that in canon.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be sure.
And
can you blame her?
Yeah.
That was a big part of the early story.
Sure.
Is that she has infinite power, or what she thinks is infinite power, and then immediately wants to use it. And she wants to go do stuff, and she doesn't want to.
Yeah, that's totally in character with her. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where...
My point is more that there's a three-way clash going on right here. And it's made worse by the fact that the two of you are writing this story not so much in concert, but more as a tag team. You have a clash of how Taylor's being actually depicted, how you think you're depicting Taylor, and how how Taylor would be depicted, I guess is the best way to say it. You use words like carefree, but all we're seeing is asshole.
Gotcha.
If you want her to be carefree, rather than saying that he's like a small, right, he's going to talk about how important and powerful he is. If you want her to be carefree in the way of a god, either barely talk about this guy.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be dismissive, say he was saying something about how powerful he was, I chuckled to myself, or something like that. Or if you're looking to still keep kind of a flippant tone, right? I'm sure he was going to make a speech about how powerful he was. He didn't know what power was.
There's a bunch of ways to depict it, and that's more of my point, in that the way it's currently being depicted in the internal monologue narrative, which is how you transmit to the audience what the character thinks they are doing, all we're getting is just asshole. Like, we're not getting self-righteous crusader. We're not getting I'm trying to be more carefree. I'm trying to let go of things.
I will say, I did particularly for this scene want Taylor to be in the objective absolutely an unreasonable asshole.
No, and that's fine. If that was the
How much
intent,
is
then that
hyper on
works.
farts?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had her literally tear apart part of the courthouse, just so
But-
she could go shove her nose into someone else's business.
Right, no, and again, I think this is what I was saying earlier in that it seems that your perceptions of what you want the scene depicted as is interfering with how the character would feel the scene is going. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I guess
You're
that's-
basically trying to combine how everyone's supposed to view the scene with the character's internal narrative, which is clashing horribly because they would view the scene completely different, but you're trying to depict the scene to the audience in a certain way using the character who wouldn't agree with that depiction. Yeah, the author is disconnected from how the character would see the world, and
I
the
guess,
influence of trying to paint the scene is clashing with everything. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just keep going. I am a villain. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. She narrowed her eyes, allowing her water echo to hum as it vibrated.
Yes,
Okay,
but
yeah,
I'm
she's
a
doing the
villain.
Leviathan thing. Got it. All right. Don't
Yes.
make me move you. Why not just move? Why not just one word?
Yeah, just
Move. I'm a villain.
move.
Move.
No, I get that. Just, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Not even
Fontaine.
I'm a villain, just move.
Yes, but the I'm a villain statement preempts whatever's going to happen next. It's supposed to be her being villainous, except she's politely asking for someone to leave. It's like, okay. Hi, we're robbing the bank. Could you pretty please put the money in the bag? Fontaine punctuated this threat by forcibly picking up and removing all of the security in the building, including all of the people that he can't see, which kind of negates the whole threat part, but okay, we're going with it. We're going with
she
it.
parades them past the courtroom's window in a second, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Including the bailiffs, the police, the SWAT team that had replied to the ongoing parahuman attack, and every single individual had been in custody at the time of her arrival except for one. Then she flew them past the windows of the courthouse, making sure everyone in the room could see them, and then lined up every single person on the front lawn. Very well. Yeah, this is where dialogue tags would come in really handy. So you can see the judge ground his teeth throughout. You know, you could add a little adjective in there instead of. It was through gritted teeth the man's temper warring with the knowledge that she was in charge here because he hates women.
No,
This-
he's actually not a misogynist. This is mostly
Yeah.
He's actually
But-
having an entirely normal judge-like response to someone showing up and then treating them like shit and then absolutely disrespecting them.
Yeah,
But you
Yeah.
emphasize the word
sentence-
she.
I did.
Yep. It's in
I think I
italics.
probably intended that to be that it was tailored, not her sex, but you're right. That's not how people are going to see that. Oops.
Yeah.
It also makes after very well. That sentence just again says sadistic asshole, not
Well,
whatever
yeah,
you were trying to
it's
go for.
again we've beaten the dead horse on this
Mhm.
point, but yeah. So it's a constant throughout this whole scene, you know, clashing going on. But again, here's a mention of how Taylor is now thinking of herself as Taylor again, despite mentioning earlier that she needs to think of herself as Fontaine. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but you know, there we go. Taylor was actually enjoying this quite a bit, because she was also currently able to see Canary, and the frankly pitiful woman was barely able to move and completely unable to speak. I mean, well, completely unable to speak is kind of fair bureaucratically, but yes. swaddled in full brute restraints, clad in an orange prisoner's jumpsuit, and wearing a muzzle and gag. So yes, she was serene as a serene lake that serenely stayed still. Serenely. The gavel stays. Now go sit on the floor in front of the stand. I might put you on trial next. Yeah, Infant does bring up a really good point. The dialogue tags would really help you out a lot here. His fingers clenched, and she almost thought the judge might have an aneurysm. Judge Green, you might want to do what she says. Surprisingly, it was the defense attorney who spoke up. Why is that surprising? He's defending people.
No, I went with the state gave Canary a shitty public defender, not an actively corrupt one. Out of story, the idea to go for it was the whole thing was actually just a political campaign stunt by the DA and the judge.
Sure. I'm just saying though, it's like, why is it surprising that a defense attorney would be like, "Hey, maybe you should not
that it was the
commit
DA,
suicide by villain."
Not the district attorney. Never mind.
Right, but my point's more, why is it surprising that someone goes, "Hey, judge, you should probably not commit suicide. That's probably a bad plan. Committing suicide's bad." I'm just confused why that's surprising. Has this guy been depicted as a particularly vicious asshole before?
No.
Okay,
this is the
so
first time they show up.
yeah, all right. So again, surprisingly,
Just
breaking
alright.
the courtroom's current silence and convincing the man to do as she asked. Good. Now that we're assembled, I think the PRT is outside and we can properly begin. She pointed at the assistant district attorney. You, go get the PRT officer or a hero to come in here. I need to lay out the ground rules. Everyone else who is not part of the court may leave. Anyone who is a servant of the court will remain. Anyone who wishes to stay and watch may do so. But be warned, any interruptions are punished by removal from my courtroom. This is another point where I would just, you like italics, so use an italics here. My courtroom. Emphasize my.
Gotcha.
Great moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if she's taking over, then it's hers now. But anyway, several of the jurors shifted in place, a few murmuring, but it took one of them. Several of the jurors shifted in place, a few murmuring, but it took one of them, an older man, surprisingly similar in appearance to the judge, several moments to stand up and ask. Again, surprisingly, why is it surprising? Is it surprising because he was on the jury, or?
No, I'm sorry. That might be an accidental leftover from one of the editing passes. That word just doesn't actually sound correct. I think that's just a flat-out mistake.
Okay, but capes acting above the law should be in thing cape settings. Mike, right, with My Hero Academia too. Yeah, it's. Miss, are we free to go? Of course, I'd prefer if you stayed, but you are not being held, nor do I require a jury to determine the outcome of this trial. Again, emphasis here, this trial, implying that maybe she'll start doing this more. If you're trying to go for the whole tyrant angle, again, this would be like little helpful bits to drop here and there, as if Taylor's even thinking about it. Well, I won't need your help for this trial. Stuff like that. I'm just, throwing it out there. Though it would certainly be helpful if we are able to maintain a group of 12 volunteers to assist in reaching a conclusion. That provoked a great deal of confusion.
Yeah,
Sure.
Why is she asking? Why is she asking for essentially a jury when she just said, "I don't need a jury"?
Because it's a nice thing, not something that is required.
I see. Okay, carry on then.
So, Extreme TLDR in Genshin, which I have not played, and the sum total of my knowledge comes from my co-author and watching videos on YouTube. Fontaine does this whole thing where courts are pretty much dramatic performances, and you have both accuser and accused standing on a large raised platform with galleries and seating to watch it.
Sure.
So
Oh,
what?
okay, so it's an Ace Attorney courtroom. Got it.
Yeah, that's apparently something the commoner said too. But yeah, a jury is nice. It is not required.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Probably reframe that into witnesses of some sort, because again, if she's saying that she's going to be doing this trial, it's going to be, according to her will, then there wouldn't be a jury. It would just be a court of witnesses, not a jury. A jury specifically are the ones who are going to be deciding whether to hold someone at account for this, or that.
No, I got you.
And then the judge, in the cases of jury cases, for everyone who's not aware, the jury says this person is or isn't guilty of murder. This person isn't or isn't guilty for theft. And then the judge goes, all right, well, since you said they're guilty for these crimes, under these circumstances, I sentence them to this many years.
Yeah.
But that's the case of a jury trial. And then if you have just a judge trial, the judge goes, okay, well, under my knowledge, wisdom, and experience, I sentence you to this many years for these crimes, whether or not he finds them guilty or not for those crimes that have been accused of him. And possibly additional crimes that were revealed during the court case. But anyway, point being, though, is that her being like, yes, well, it's going to be my trial. I'm going to be running this thing now. I'm going to be making the decisions here. But also, I would like people to question me. Kind of clashes. If she's trying to do this whole, I want people to witness my decision and know it's just, also other better ways to phrase it.
No, I got you.
Yeah. Provoked a great deal of confusion after making it clear she wasn't going to stop anyone. Most of the crowd filtered out. Perhaps only 20 people in total remained. Surprisingly enough, that's fair enough use of surprising. 6 of those were the original members of the jury, which pleased her to no end. Again, pleased her to no end. Why is she super pleased that 6 of them remained?
Why does she care?
Because she has an audience.
Right. You have to make that clear to us and to Taylor. Again, this is something that's like, you, the author, know that Taylor and this personality expression would be pleased by the audience remaining.
Mm-hmm.
But we, the reader, need to know that too.
Yeah, I think when you said the big problem was that my co-author and I have been really tag teaming it. I think in hindsight, now that you're laying it out, and I'm not thinking about it from the perspective of I know exactly what's intended, I get a lot of what you're saying. But yeah.
If at all possible, I would say both of you should either if you don't, because of time or schedule or like being on opposite sides of the world, whatever, if you can't write together, do not write a chapter together. I will write this chapter. You look it over. Tell me if there's anything that you really, really hate and you think we got to change. Otherwise, I'll publish it.
Yeah, the best way to do it if you can't do co-op is to basically have one person be the beta reader who then interrogates the other person on every scene.
Yeah. Otherwise, right, what you need to do is you need to, doesn't matter how you do it, doesn't matter what software, Zoom call, Teams call, Discord, whatever. Be there and both of you write it and be like, what are we doing in this scene? These are our goals. Here's how we're going to get there, right? And if one of you's got and this is the other thing I can't stress enough, the two of you, if you're going to co-write like that, take responsibility for certain characters, right? I will write Taylor. I will write Arms Master and Contessa and whatever. So that way you have a consistent, established, set tone for that character, because if you're writing Fontaine and the next chapter he's writing Fontaine, both of your guys' vision for what is
and not only that,
or whatever,
even if it's mostly aligned, as you said yourself, you haven't played Genshin, you don't know Farina. as well as he does. And his decisions on what he thinks Fontaine or Taylor would do next are being influenced, clearly, obviously, by Farina. And your decisions are being made on what she would do next and how she would act in a scene are being made in a completely different decision base that might be more aligned with his because, you know, well, he's your co-author and he's been writing it with you and you're reading the story and etc. But at the same time, your decision-making still isn't being sourced from your knowledge of Farina and Genshin.
No, I gotcha. I will say I am about to have to go.
Yep.
This has been harsh but fair, and it's given me a lot to think about. Didn't even get to the part with Legend I actually wanted you to look at.
Yeah, I'm
Trust me,
sorry,
we will go over that later and look at it. Just before
yeah.
you go, the last thing I want to say is if you want an example, like for as bad as it is, look at the stupid little story that I wrote with Max. Respawning isn't that fun, where we both specifically put ourselves in as shitty OCs, but we also specifically took responsibility for different characters to write them, because that was the only way we were going to be able to make it work. I want to be clear. It's not a great story. It's a stupid little shit post. However, it was a co-authored story.
Yeah. Pretty much everything on the Devil Force fanfiction is a co-authored story. But yeah, and I mean, if you want to just you know, mark it down here at the 52-minute mark, 52-minute mark. Hold on, let me find where the timer is. The 56-minute mark. We'll keep reading till the end of the chapter. I'll give my thoughts throughout the whole thing. And if you just want to go back and watch it whenever you have time later on, that's fine with me. If not, that's also fine with me.
Huh. I'm almost tempted to ask you to just read it in your own time and DM it to me, but I guess you do still have a show to run.
No. If you genuinely would prefer it to be individual group ones, we're fine with that.
Yeah, sure. I can stop it here as well.
No, I think the problem is this is the only place I actually get useful constructive feedback from. No one on SB, no one on AO3, no one on fanfiction.net. The most I can get is I would have preferred X, or this is my idea for Y, and that's not useful. That's not meaningful. That's
right.
I will not get better from that.
That's
so fair. I think I'm actually getting more feedback from just this hour than I've probably gotten from the entirety of the rest of the story put together. And
That's
it's
rough.
a lot to think about it. A lot to think about.
I get that. And I mean, hey, if you want me to just DM you all of my thoughts afterwards, I can do that too.
You know what? That would be wonderful. Thank you. And then I'd also have them written down and I could parse them.
Sure.
Thank you. And thank the rest of you for giving me the first hour tonight.
All right, everyone, before Alvor leaves, thank him for the chapter.
Thanks for the chapter
Thank
plus
you,
one.
Alvor.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
All jokes aside,
one.
No.
listen,
Why did it
I'm
always
gonna
have to be
actually
one?
go and read the whole rest of the story. A, so I can get a better idea of what's going on, and B, because congratulations, and I say this sincerely, you're still better than 98% of the assholes out there, buddy.
True. Yeah. I don't want you to think us stomping on you at this level is because you're bad. It's because there's so much I can actually talk about. Because again, with a lot of people that come on and or even just, you know, we cover their stories, they're so bad. There's almost nothing I can say beyond get better at writing, because I can't actually give them any criticism to get better at writing until they do, because they're at a level where me telling them the intricacies of narrative display doesn't mean anything to them. It won't be useful.
But you, on the other hand, actually can understand it.
Well, that and I want to do better. I suppose that's been my big problem with a lot of stories is it's almost impossible to tell what's doing well, what's doing poorly. Because if people don't like things 99% of the time, they just stop reading.
Yeah, that's very true, yeah.
And I even had one guy who left really meaty, really extended reviews on every chapter, and then he sort of fell off, and I asked, "Hey, what's up?" And I had to pry it out of him, but he was embarrassed because he just wasn't enjoying the story anymore. And I had to be like, "Yeah, it's okay. You're allowed not to enjoy things. Don't worry. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I just wanted to make sure everything was good." And that still took me like 3 days of messaging to just get that.
Well, I mean, especially on SB and SV, your main issue is going to be that the moderators themselves have really cultivated a culture of never saying anything bad about the author's story.
Yeah.
I bring this up. I literally got thread banned because I told an author that I didn't enjoy the direction their story was taking, but I hope the best for them because they are clearly enjoying writing it. And I got thread banned for that and warned.
Yeah, that kind of thing is just absolutely it's completely counterintuitive, because if you see success, you don't know why you're seeing success. You can't tell what's a good habit, what's a bad habit. And again, sincerely, all of you, thank you again. This is a lot to think about. God bless and good night to all of you. And Atin,
yeah,
good night and good luck, buddy.
I want to finish the bank job at least.
All right. Well, you know what?
Let's shit on his story.
Let's shit on his story harder, boys. Let's go.
Now that we don't have to worry about feeling, no, absolutely not. We will not descend to that
now
level.
that the pussy's gone.
I'll shit on his story for writing Genshin.
Listen,
not because it's a bad
I
story.
really gotta be clear. When you, Alvor, when you listen to the 2 minutes after this, they don't actually think that. I understand it can be hard to tell when these subhumans are joking.
Someone make a clip of that, please. I want to be able to use that more.
Immediately clip it and tag Alvor. Do not do that.
We need him.
Yeah, where's C8 when we needed him?
He hasn't clipped shit in a while. It's usually been me.
I know, it's crazy.
When the world needed the clipper the most, he disappeared.
He became an adult.
Have you really made it if you don't have a horde of clippers? True.
Fair.
I've done my one clip of the 3 years. True. Anyway. So let's see here. We got here. Good. Now we're settled. Your assistant has decided not to return. And it seems like the PRT is arguing and the heroes are being silly.
Ugh.
Was it just me or
I'm
did everyone
not
leave
sure
Sneaky?
if it's part of how Sneaky's reading it, but again, and I said this while he was here, just something about this character, like the way the characters, and again, I don't know
It's
enough
why
about
I
the
brought up
Genshin
Valkyrie.
Character.
Yeah. Yeah, it's why I brought it. Well, Farina's not this schizophrenic, just to be clear.
Okay.
But it's why I brought up Valkyrie, is because I'm seeing a lot of, like, just really clashing everything going on. And that's how I did Valkyrie, because she was fucking insane. Like, literally insane. And that's how I showed it. And so, that's why I'm really confused here, because he's talking about Taylor like she's like, she's got it somewhat together and she's got like this persona she wants to put on, and all I'm getting is like his opinion of what's occurring.
Yeah.
Not what Taylor thinks, not what Taylor as Farina thinks, not what Taylor is trying to portray, just his opinion.
Yeah.
In IRL writing workshops, you're supposed to read everything in a flat voice so that vocabulary, grammarly, prose, and etc. can be better scrutinized. Well, that's stupid as fuck.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds retarded.
No, I do kind of get what they're saying, because like there's some of these that if they were being read in a flat tone, right? shit. Where is this
See,
chapter?
I subscribe to the I subscribe to the how to put this the way of audiobooks of reading things out in the dramatic tone that you're imagining them to be in. So if you read something out in the tone that it's supposed to be set in and it doesn't quite fit, you can go, oh wait, this is not jiving, you know? And again, fictional stories. We're not writing fucking essays here. We're not writing scientific papers here. It is. I want to be careful how I say it. Grammar when writing fiction and grammar when writing narrative is 95% true. It's not an absolute. Because it's supposed to be more flexible so you can have characters speaking like normal people and characters thinking like normal people and displaying
It's also
emotion.
The unreliable narrator.
Well, yeah, no, it's also unreliable narration. Yeah, exactly. And it's like very few people speak in complete complex sentences with precisely proper grammar at every position. And that's why I don't give Gray shit.
Retarded.
Well, yes, but it's also why I didn't give Gray too much shit when he used ellipses in people's speech, because people do pause in a way that isn't really a comma. And it kind of almost is generation-y in that, like, you have Eto. I can't say the Chinese version because that's banned on Twitch.
Yeah.
The old.
You have from the millennial generation when they're trying to speak, but they don't know the words yet, so they're filling the airwaves with filler words.
Yeah. It's random sounds.
And that's not grammatically correct. It's, however, fictionally correct. It is good in fiction to make your characters sound like animated people.
Like a real person?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, right. I'm trying to think. What was the...
Sneaky has to start being careful. Everyone's anus clenches. True.
True. Let's see. Don't make me move. Right. Depending on how you read something like, "I'm a villain," don't make me move you. Right. Like how you read that can dramatically influence whether it's coming across as petulant or threatening or
right. And that's why I subscribe to the idea of audiobook reading is, I'm a villain. Are you talking down to them? Or are you just stating, I am a villain? You should move.
But if we're reading that in a flat tone, right? If we're reading that flat, and then we go and ask, in this case, Alvor, what is the intention of the character here? We can then suggest different word and tone use. Right. And to be clear, different words to imply tone.
Right.
To make it less ambiguous.
But the other thing that I do is the be-clowning, in where I specifically make fun of how they wrote it in a way they probably did not intend for it to be read, because that also breaks them free from the assumption that they've been making about their story the whole time. Where now they have to think about it, because now they have to defend it, because, hey, you're doing it wrong. Okay, well, then what's the right way? The right way is, I have to actually think about this one now. And we literally saw it when I talked to Alvor about it, where he was like, yeah.
However, I think that reading it flat could be a somewhat more polite way to go about it.
Well, I mean, I don't call it beclowning for nothing.
I'm aware.
Honestly, I would rather have the bullshit version than the flat version. It's more useful.
Again, I
me
think that's
as an
largely
author.
going to come down to.
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, people are gonna have their preferences, but I'm here to make people laugh, even if I'm the only one laughing in the end, because I am people. See here. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Here we go. There were huh? There were several very expensive sounds.
Yes, things broke. Sounds of expensive things breaking.
Mostly
That is a
wood
turn of
breaking.
phrase.
Yeah.
I know. I'm aware. It's just kind of hit me in the face.
Yeah, fair.
But didn't you hear? I'm a villain. Indeed. Exactly. I'm gonna suggest Sneaky's beclowning method. You better call it the Sneaky beclowning method. I'm patenting it.
And there goes the writing workshop's credibility.
Or alternatively, a new age of writers.
A new age of caustic bastards.
Make them grow thicker skin. Yes.
Dump them in acid and make the skin grow back thicker.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
whatever you say. Oh my god, damn it! Why can't I remember the character? I had the perfect character. Damn it! The one who
Deadpool?
fell in
What
the
we say
no,
we're gonna do.
no, the
Joker?
one who fell in acid. The one who fell in the no, the guy who fell in the same acid as Joker, but is a good guy.
The Question?
No, fuck. He's got a boa. He runs around half naked in a Speedo and boa.
I have no idea. Anyway, let's see. There a smidge of metal being torn to shreds. A smidge of metal being torn to shreds.
Smidge. A little bit,
Yeah.
a tiny bit.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand what a smidge is.
smidge.
I'm just really confused. Again, I will keep stumbling on this because of how I'm trying to process the story as I'm reading it, and my brain just keeps grinding gears against itself because of how the narrative is portraying.
No. I'm saying that does absolutely not make sense right there to be used
Yeah.
in that context at all.
I mean, it does make
Poor word
sense
choice.
if you're being if you're being extremely dismissive
If you're being
of
flippant,
the situation. Yeah, if you're being very flippant and dismissive of the whole situation. Oh, it's just a smidge of metal being torn up.
it's
Like,
a smidge.
yeah, like that makes sense. But again, it's like, well, Taylor's taking this really seriously, and this is part of her crusade. Except also, she's completely dismissing the whole seriousness of the entire situation. It's like, okay, question mark. No one will know whether the sneaky is in reference to the beclowning being sneaky or if sneaky is the person. True, exactly, in the precise point. Telling a room full of literature majors to have thicker
God.
skin as I read their work
Do
back
it.
to them is a sneakyism. That's
I
going to
mean-
end well. Yes.
I mean, I would say go for it. I don't think it's going to go very well for you.
you then,
No, I
you
think
then have
it's
to
gonna
tell
go
them.
very well.
You then have to tell them, you see, I am reading it to you like this because I, as the author, am saying here, you are a clown. And I do not mean that I am laughing at myself. I mean, you are a clown.
God does send his strongest battle.
God will send his strongest clowns to fight the silliest battles.
His stupidest battles to his funniest clowns. There we go.
Yes, indeed. There we go. Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to mention God in university.
Oh, you know what? Atin does raise a good point on that one. Let's see here.
Yeah, we gotta.
And she had a fridge-sized mass of water float down through the now smashed roof and hover before the judge's bench. Oh, so she did this. Okay. Okay. God, yeah, no, this fucking narrative pacing is all over the place in where she's doing things, but she's describing the sounds and effects of the action she just took before the action she took. This is really fucking throwing me off.
That's awkward.
Yeah. It's like I always get mad at those people that have the dialogue tags for the dialogue in the paragraph before the dialogue they say is.
Creeper! That's it! Creeper!
That really bothered you.
I had to go and find it because I was like, damn it, who is this guy?
Fair, fair. Hello, I thought it would be pretty clear that any attempt at sneaking would go poorly. The young man inside, red-haired, freckled, wearing a domino mask, cravat, and a dinner jacket, coughed and looked a smidge embarrassed when he spoke up. I'm actually a rather powerful stranger. You weren't supposed to see me. Fontaine nodded. And I didn't. But you still displaced water in the air where you moved. Oh, so that's why it's humid in here. I mean, well, yes, Miss Fontaine. She actually chuckled at that. So she hasn't laughed up until this point? Okay.
It seems not.
Just Fontaine, mister. Shadow, as in the comic book hero, the Shadow.
The Shadow knows.
The Shadow also committed many assassinations, so not possibly the best hero to, clear yourself
I
after.
mean, it depends on which continuity we're talking about.
No! No, I think Atin can back me on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Sneaky here.
Yeah. He's public domain these days, and I really liked him. Did you know that some of Warhammer 40k is actually inspired by the Shadow?
Yes,
you know.
actually. You can just go look at anyone from the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Or Corvus Corax and his entire existence.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Corvus Corax.
And wasn't the
Please don't
symbol
sue
for
me.
chaos also stolen?
It might be.
I'm pretty sure the symbol for chaos was also stolen.
For that, you would need to ask my very chemically stable sibling.
Oh, yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I've added myself to another watch list. Excellent job. The poor guy was cringing a little, perhaps aware of how that sounded considering his current predicament, as opposed to any other predicament, where he's just telling someone that actually he's named himself after this really violent vigilante from the 40s? 40? No, 60s. 20s?
30s. No, it was portrayed as being in the 30s, 40s.
How
whatever.
old is the Shadow?
Oh, you don't want to ask that question, buddy.
It's going to age
You're
all of
about
us,
to
I'm
age
aware.
everybody.
Origin of the character's name in July 31st, 1930.
I knew it was the 30s.
Ironically, the first story ever produced was The Living Shadow on April 1st, 1931. It wasn't a joke. That was the punchline. But yeah, so yes. But anyway, so yeah, possibly not really a factoid you want to drop in general. I mean, it's not embarrassing to be inspired by a comic book hero. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a little bit probably not the sort of information I would bring up at any point in time. In almost ever.
Yeah. There's very few circumstances where I'd want to explicitly tell people what I'm inspired by and modeling myself
Oh, yeah,
after.
I'm inspired by the, really
Well, if
badass
it's not,
dude
it'd be fine if
killing
it's
the
like
people.
something heroic, right? It's like, oh, I called myself, Fishman because I'm inspired by the Batman comics and I want to be a hero or something, right? Yeah, I'm inspired by DC Comics, which is why I named myself Something Man. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Master
But
Bader, man? Wait.
but be like, hey, yeah, so I'm really sneaky, so I named myself after a 1930s comic of a violent vigilante who went through the darkness of night and killed people who he thought they were doing bad things. I'm telling this to the person who just caught me as I was sneaking in the darkness around them.
Possibly about to do something bad.
Probably not the best plan. Just throwing that out there. But anyway,
No.
but relaxed a great deal when she just put him down. Huh. I'll have to go give the shadow a read.
Well, it's fucking dumb.
I'll be honest. I feel like someone here is just trying to wank off the shadow.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry to say, as someone who has been forcibly subjected to it by the presence of my sibling, inspires irrational hatred in me.
Also a totally understandable sentiment. There it is. Were you not a fan of it? Or is it just because he forced you?
Mostly the forcing,
That's
I
fair.
think. It was not something I significantly enjoyed.
That's fair. Yeah.
Also, I wasn't actually like... The radio plays, I'll say, were not as bad. The radio plays were not as bad.
Most of my Shadow lore comes from me listening to Razor Force talk about the Shadow while I played New World, and boy, does that fucking both sadden me and age me.
Woohoo! Good job there, buddy.
You played yourself.
Well, it's not so much of a age in the, oh my god, that was so long ago. It's more of an age in a, oh god, that was long ago. Oh, man, New World, that was such a disappointment.
I want to be clear. I told you it was going to be a disappointment.
I told Gray it was going to be a disappointment. He bought me a copy, so I was like, well, I'm kind of obligated to play it a little bit at least.
Excuse you, my father got it for you. I did not get it for you.
I like how the only thing Gray has said in this entire time is, admittedly, to chime up in his own defense, which is fair enough.
Yeah, tragic. Yeah, tragic. And it could have been. Okay, no, I'm gonna be honest. There was no chance it was ever gonna be fun. But it could have been. In like the hypothetical world where Amazon wasn't Amazon, but
I mean, it certainly could have been less shite.
Yeah. It could have been, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think the inclusion of movement and PvP, terrible idea.
Honestly, I got the feeling they wanted to be English Black Desert.
Yes.
Which, fair enough, but...
Yeah. The problem with that is Western
Koreans are insane, and the things that make Koreans happy are generally not going to be great for a series
literally
of...
anyone else.
Anyone else, yeah. And then in addition to that, anyone who is insane enough to do that is going to go just play Black Desert.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like the key part of what made every fucking WoW killer back in the day fail is that they were all trying to be WoW. And it's like, well,
That
if I want to play
that's
WoW,
why.
I'm just going to go play WoW.
Oh my god, that's why.
Phantasy Star? No, it wasn't Phantasy Star. It was, something Star. Starfall?
I was gonna say
It
that's
wasn't
what.
PSO.
That's why Star Wars Galaxy pissed me off, because they
Yeah.
had a great thing going that was independent of WoW, and then they fucked that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh no. To be clear,
Yeah.
I'm talking about old Star Wars Galaxies before Jump to Lightspeed.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Understand.
it's
Yeah, okay, so that was decidedly not a WoW clone. Like, if you go back and you look at that footage versus
honestly, Star Wars Galaxies was closer to Eve than it was to World of Warcraft. Before Jump to Lightspeed. Jump to Lightspeed
Yeah.
was Jump to Lightspeed was their attempt to realign to be more WoW inspired in its handling of the RPG. Didn't Galaxies come out before WoW? I'm pretty sure it did. It was like 2001 or 2, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And to be clear, they still had a fair bit. They still had quite a bit of stuff that kept them decidedly distinct from a
2003.
lot of MMOs on the market.
A whole year beforehand. Yeah, it had an insane crafting system, the housing system, the clan
its
system,
entire economy was player run, and even after Jump to Lightspeed,
which is why I said it was more closer to Eve than.
Yeah. Even after Jump to Lightspeed, that didn't change.
Yeah. But I mean, well, it's a good crafting system doesn't make a good game. A good crafting system makes a better game.
Yeah.
A good housing system doesn't make a good game. It makes a better game. You can have a great game without those things. See, WoW. But you can't make a great game out of having those things. And the gameplay, it was something.
Like,
Before-
truly, Sneaky's correct in that it was much more like Eve
Spreadsheet
because
simulator.
no, it wasn't so much the spreadsheet, but like it was almost entirely free form in what you could do, and like you didn't necessarily have as strict of a class system as other things did. And again, it's been brought up time and time again, but being a Jedi was something you gosh darn earned.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought it was
Not
really
in
cool
a good
'cause,
way
like,
necessarily, but
I thought it was really cool because you could get like player-generated quests, and that's what I spent a lot of my time as a kid doing. Is I just did player-generated quests of deliver this package to this person, go to this outpost, get this thing, take it here, just shit like that. Like I thought that was really cool.
yeah, no,
And-
that like player quests and player run economy, all that stuff was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever. But anyway, back to the story.
Must we, Papa?
I'll have to give him a read. Now, would you be so kind as to relay my request for a representative from both the Protectorate and PRT? That's again, it's just like, what? Several brief negotiations later. What kind of brief negotiations? Why several? Why are we skipping them then if they're so brief?
Yeah. I'm gonna wholeheartedly agree with Sneaky here. Either they're important and they should be covered, or they're not, and why the fuck are you mentioning them?
And not only that, these negotiations would be very important to not skip because you have to establish Taylor's character for this scene. What does Taylor see herself as doing? Is she coming in as the avenging crusader, or is she a flippant tyrant? Or does she see herself as a flippant tyrant? Why are we getting punished, Tanya?
We are
Because I'm doing
Yes.
AI.
I see.
Oh, okay. I was about to say we're not, and then because I wasn't looking at the chat, so
I just see him fucking posting art. I'm like, huh? But yeah, like, so this is what I don't really understand from a lot of authors. If you're like trying to show, if your story is going to be character heavy, in that a really major part of the story isn't the power level, because her power level is insane. We've already established this in his previous talks about the story. If you're the point of this story is to show Taylor's navigation of getting these powers, how she uses them, how she develops as a person, all of these fucking words. Why are we skipping dialogue? Why are we mashing the dialogue skip button?
Her character?
Yeah. Why are you playing a fucking story game and you're mashing the button to skip dialogue?
Because that part's boring, bro. Just get me to the action.
But anyway. But only after making completely sure that no civilians were being held against their will. Wait. So again, this is why you hold the negotiations. This looks fucking retarded. Several brief negotiations later, he agreed to go get a representative from the PRTN Protectorate, but only after making sure that the civilians were not being held against their will. Wouldn't that be part of the fucking negotiations?
Yes. Yes, that is set up for the negotiation.
a deeply important part of them, in fact.
You would fucking think.
Like, you could have just, like, this several brief negotiations later thing could have whole just been fucking skipped. In the end, he agreed to do so, but only after making sure the civilians weren't being held against their will. You can just skip this whole negotiation part, because otherwise, why is he negotiating, but only after he makes sure the civilians weren't being held against their will? Like, that would be part of the negotiation.
Yeah.
Something that the hero only begrudgingly accepted was that Fontaine did not count the attorney or judge as civilians. But it was their fault for invoking her name. Didn't they know how dangerous that was? Again, this is what I was saying earlier with Baby's first narrative, is we're slipping in and out of factual statements and the author's interpretation of the character's perspective, but it's being relayed to us in the same way as the factual narrative observations that are occurring. What the character is thinking is supposed to be separated some way from the narrative. So you can tell who's thinking what. Because right now, we're talking about the hero. We're talking about the hero did this, the hero did that. And now, but that's their fault for invoking her name. Didn't they know how dangerous she could be? Oh, so we're swapping back to Taylor, who isn't mentioned before this very moment. I have to use context clues of who's supposed to be telling the narrative from several paragraphs ago to realize that this part of the narrative is now a mental thought from the character telling the narrative, not the hero remarking on something.
Also, now, again, I know they're relatively far into the story, so I don't want to harp on this too much. However, where does Taylor get off saying that invoking her name is dangerous? How much level of God are great because I know that in Genshin the gods are gods, and like, you know, if someone prays to Ultra Twink Venti, Venti might hear them and might answer them.
To be straightforward, at least in Genshin mechanics and lore, it's not like was it Percy Jackson where actually saying their name will just like call them and get their attention theoretically.
Right.
As far as I know, you could straight up say any of the names, like people pray to Barbados, people pray to whatever. As far as I know, they do not hear the prayers.
Mm.
It is just
Right,
standard.
but don't they have a way? Don't they have a way to hear them? Like, because they do answer prayers.
No.
Not
Earth
really.
guy explicitly says they do hear them. Or
Oh, did
can
he?
hear them.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah.
I can recall that.
Oh, it's been a while then. I could have sworn they didn't.
But either way, again, this is like, this is something Taylor should have said aloud. Like, this is something,
Coulda, did not.
like, there's so much dialogue going on in this scene that shouldn't have happened. And there's so much dialogue that should have happened in this scene that didn't.
That isn't.
Like this part right here. Taylor should be laying out to both the people inside the courtroom, the audience, and in her internal narrative why she's doing this, why she's doing it this way, justifications both internal and external, and then when you show off the alternative perspective, as we're doing right now, we're jumping now, PRT jump, we're now jumping to the perspective of the PRT on the situation. Because the previous scene wasn't set up in a way that favors Taylor's opinion on the world, as it should have been, because it was from fucking Taylor's point of view, now we're getting into the PRT, who are supposed to show a clashing point of view of this is actually how Taylor is coming off, not the way she seemed to be coming off from her perspective in her scene.
Because here's the thing, right? This would be a perfect chance to show and reinforce both flippant and carefree, where you have Taylor deciding, I'm going to let all of the civilians go, and then arbitrarily saying, well, these individuals invoked my name. They aren't civilian, right? Even though they are civilian, right? And to be clear, it shouldn't be a, they aren't civilians. It should be a, they invoked my name. They are subject to my judgment. This is my courtroom.
Right. And not only that, these things, they should have been said in the brief negotiations, air quotes. Like,
Exactly.
This should have been a whole moment of, you introduce this stranger hero. I don't know if he's going to fucking show up again ever. But even if he's not, even if he's just a one-off hero, he should have been used as the mouthpiece for Taylor to explain to the audience her opinions on shit and why she's doing this. And, you know, all of the pre-trial stuff that is supposed to convey information to the readers on how they're supposed to view the scenario. So then you have the clash that occurs when Mr. Gay Pride runs in. I say Gay Pride because I forgot his name. Laser...
Legend?
Legend.
Legend. Laser Dream.
Sorry, I kept thinking
Crystal...
Yeah, I kept thinking of Laser Dream.
Yeah, Laser Dream is a hot college co-ed blonde.
Yeah, Legend. Taylor's voice isn't strong enough. Her personality, principles, and anything else are not properly be conveyed to the audience. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. There's a lot of moments that he skipped over that would have been great moments for Taylor's opinions, voice to come out and explain to the audience her perspective, and he skipped over them. And there was a whole bunch of filler scenes where she's just an asshole for no real reason. And because, again, Baby's first internal monologue, we don't have monologue to justify her being an asshole in these scenes. She's just an asshole. There's no dialogue tags. There's no internal monologue justifying why she act that way, because she does that a lot. If you read the original Worm, she does that a fucking lot.
Yeah.
there's nothing going on that's supposed to explain to the audience why she's suddenly acting such an asshole in this scene. She just is. And it's kind of
Because
like,
it's
huh?
Taylor. You should know this.
But yeah, as I beat the dead horse of the author is writing the scene, they're not writing the characters in a scene.
Yeah.
So anyway, PRT. Keith, no, he was still on shift. Legend. Legend wouldn't have that moment.
Legend is even more Bruce Wayne than Bruce Wayne.
He's Legend when he's on shift. He's Keith when he's off shift, and there's a clear mark between it. But and that's
I don't
much
know.
how
Does Legend ever really go off shift even?
Sort of yes, sort of no. There is a couple of canon moments that we see in interludes where Wildbow tries to humanize him, and that he doesn't know a lot of Cauldron's shit, so he has like this whole if I was Keith in this moment, I would be disproving, but because I'm Legend, because I'm the hero, because I know what we're doing, I know we have to do this thing that they say might be bad a little bit. But he doesn't actually know how terrible the shit they've done.
A little.
He just gets the little shit that isn't that bad. So he does have a line between the two where he's like, when I'm home, I want to be Keith to be with my husband, not Legend with my husband. And when I'm in the field, I don't have a husband. I'm Legend.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, that's not shit he's saying. That's me.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It's an
I have no
interpretation.
memory of that.
No, yeah. Legend does not ever at any point in time declare, I am Legend.
I am Legend.
I am Legend.
The vampires fear him. Anyway, so just a bit. His hair was ruffled. He probably had bad breath, and he was sure he had forgotten to put a fresh set of gear on, considering how clammy the inside of the suit he was wearing right now felt. What the fuck is that? Ah, yes, minor characterization error. To dust, I say. Penalty, disintegration. Mods, separate his atoms.
Mods, enlarge his testicular microplastics.
Mods, remove his protons.
Yes, testicular torsion.
No, that's too old. Too old, too done.
Mods, shred his electrons.
Mods, bring up his fourth grade memories.
Oh.
Indeed. Yeah.
Mods replaces protons with neutrons.
Jesus Christ. Mods, quibble his quarks.
Mods, unstring his cosmic strings.
Mods, reverse all the ones in his brains to zeros.
Oh.
With your fucking computer?
Switch the ones and the zeros. Switch the ones and the zeros.
Mods, move everything in his house 0.2 inches to the left.
Indeed.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Mods,
Except
reverse reverse the light switch.
Just turn his light
Mods.
switch upside down.
Mods, reverse all the hot water.
Oh,
Mods, make his favorite thing for a modern audience.
Mods, Make him feel empathy.
Oh no, that's not right. You can't do that.
Mods publishes fan fiction.
Mods, lock his caps lock.
Oh god. Oh god.
Sometimes reading chat without any context for what's going on the stream is such a trip.
No, even better. Mods, make sure his fan fiction is associated with his real name.
Ooh. Mods, post his fan fiction on Facebook.
Oh god, no. Mods, post a link to his fanfiction on Facebook. Oof.
Mods, post a link to his fan fiction on his Facebook page saying how proud he is.
Mods, make his favorite piece of media Netflix original.
Mods,
What if it
publish his
already
orange
is?
YouTube. Mods,
Oh.
publish his orange YouTube search history.
Orange? Oh. That took me a fucking second.
It genuinely took me a moment as well. I'm like, what?
It's like orange YouTube.
I'll give
Anyway.
actually clever.
Hey, listen,
all
it is the best
understandable
way I have heard of
mistakes.
to refer to them without breaking any kind of TOS.
I suppose. All understandable mistakes when one realized... Ooh, tensing. Ooh. Brother, ooh. He'd been forced to run out of his house because villain took over a trial. Pretty sure he owns an apartment, not a house.
Even if it does, it doesn't matter. Legend shouldn't give a fuck about.
Well, I mean, Legend's also literally as fast as light.
Well, A, yes. So B, A, he shouldn't give a shit about any of that, and B, Legend would not be having this internal monologue. Legend would be concerned about the 3 civilians that are trapped.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm probably gonna in my DMs. I'm probably gonna have to fucking question Alvor who wrote this part of the scene because he said he did. Because I'm really curious if because I don't know. Did you guys remember what he said? Like the Wyvern wrote the Taylor part and then he wrote this part, or
I believe he
the
said he
entire
wrote
scene?
the courtroom scene.
Right. Okay.
Which again, and I know we already said this. I don't say this to be mean. I say this to drive home a point.
Yeah.
This is where a lack of communication and a lack of specifically ownership is coming back to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because they're both trying to write Taylor, but neither of them owns Taylor. I think we're getting an inconsistent Taylor because Taylor is inconsistent because they don't know what Taylor is and they haven't locked in
Right. Yeah.
what she ought to be.
Well, not only that, honestly, it feels like they're not communicating about the story with each other. It feels like Wyvern, from what I got from him talking about it and him
He
talking
said
about the
that
story
Wyvern
previously.
mainly had the problem with the monologue shit, but
No,
that he wrote the courtroom scene.
No, I'm saying more about just general story stuff here.
Oh.
Is that I don't think they've actually sat down and have talked about Taylor's characterization and where they think they're going to take Taylor through the arcs.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's going to
together.
end up.
No.
Because, like, Alvor seemed to have this, like, huge idea of, like, oh, yeah, Taylor's going to have this, like, confrontation of power and a tyrant arc, and then she's going to do these things. And then I'm looking at and hearing what he's saying about Wyvern's approach to writing Taylor, and it's just looking like Wyvern's approach to writing Taylor is, I want to write Farina and Worm.
Yeah.
Which, I want to be clear, that's fine if you do, but that's not what we're getting. And in addition to that...
Taylor is.
Hey, that's not what Taylor... Right? If that's the case... because I noticed later on they mentioned that Farina is not in control of Taylor all the time. So then we need to establish, is Farina leaving behind some kind of mimetic hazard that is influencing Taylor in a way that is deeply similar to, yet distinctly different from how the parasites influence people? Is does Taylor realize any of this is happening?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
Taylor just going to be turned into a mini Farina?
And that's what I'm saying here is that I'm just really confused over the character depiction because we have one author who wants to do this whole journey of power for Taylor, and then the other author just wants to write silly little Farina and Worm. And it's like really schizophrenic. And then on top of all of that, we also have Taylor's perspective, which neither of them are writing correctly. And then on top of that, we have another layer of what's actually being written and displayed to the audience. And so Alvor's idea of what Taylor's doing, Wyvern's idea of what Taylor's doing, and Taylor's idea of what Taylor's doing, none of that's being displayed to the audience.
That will match up. Yeah.
Or none of it matches up either. Yeah. So yeah, and then this is the other part. And now that we have well, what's the other Asmongold saying? 1 point on a graph is just 1 point. Multiple points on a graph starts to really form a line. That's what we're getting here. Now that we moved on to a different scene with different characters and a different perspective, supposedly, that we're supposed to be working from, we're just getting the same fucking perspective from the previous scene. Like, the perspective hasn't changed. How the narrative is being told hasn't changed. Despite it being a different character telling it. Despite the character's personality and life experiences should have resulted in a massively different shift of priorities, attitude, and narrative structure. We're not getting.
I'll be honest. I think a lot of that's coming from the fact that he mentioned that his co-author comes explicitly from a place of anime, where
Yes. Well, he said he wrote this pretty much. He pretty much wrote the entire scene. Like the second the courtroom scene started, I think he said he wrote all of it, both perspectives. Which, so this is all pretty much Alvor's fault? Question mark. Maybe. I'll have to see with him in DMs. But specifically, he said, like, the legend and the back and forth, like, he wrote that. So we at least know he's writing these scenes, and that's the problem I'm saying here. It's the same thing I called him out for in the previous scene is happening in this scene, in where this isn't the character's perspective. This is Alvor's perspective on what the scene taking place is.
Yeah.
So anyway. Legend is here. Thank goodness. He forced a smile, thinking whatever god would listen, that he had a husband, and shoved a thermos of coffee into his hands before he left.
That sounds fucking dumb.
I don't understand this.
Yeah, like I said, again,
like
this is.
I want to be clear. I understand the sentiment that it's trying to express, which is that Legend is grateful he has a partner who gave him coffee before he ran off to save the day. Again, the partner shouldn't have time to do so.
Yeah. I think it's just this is actually really funny that Farina is, according to Phoenix, the worst written Archon of all 7, which is really funny to me because this is just another classic moment of bad writer gets obsessed with some other bad writer's work and then writes the bad writing worse.
To be fair on Furina, it's the worst because Fontaine will choose a new Archon every time one dies. Like, Furina's not the original god, Fontaine is, and they just give their power to some random human every, like, century or so.
It's just shocking because among them you have someone who fucked off in the meditation for 500 years because she couldn't get over the death of her sister and created a robot waifu version of her. Yeah, I know that's... And no, what Phoenix is saying why Farina's the worst character of them all isn't because of in-universe narrative reasons. It's because the writers are shit and were terrible at writing her.
True, and I'm pretty sure they killed her off, didn't they?
No, I'm 99% sure she's still alive.
Oh, I was gonna say, did she get fridged? Because that would
Yeah,
tell me
no,
that the writers weren't
I'm-
happy.
I'm
'Cause I
pretty
didn't- I
sure
didn't-
she's still alive.
I've only heard bits and pieces, but I know that during a courtroom scene, she actually got accused and found guilty. I thought they killed her after that, but
Folklores is dead,
Folklores.
Farina's alive. Okay, yeah, sure.
uh,
But yeah, no. I'm pretty sure that was the whole fucking main quest, is you proving her that she's innocent and blah 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 blah, and how the whole townspeople turned on her or some shit or whatever. But yeah, point being is that she was a very poorly written character, not because of in-universe reasons, but because of the writers were hacks.
Genshin.
And then I just find it very funny that in a very true fashion of really shit writers being wowed by other shit writing, and then being obsessed with that shit writing, and then writing that shit writing worse. It's just really funny to me. Folklore is the god half is dead, but Farina the human half is still alive. All right, well, there you go.
What the fuck is that even?
How does that
Three-
work?
Guys,
no, you know what?
3
Never
different.
mind, Genshin.
Is that why she had
This is like-
heterochromia?
Oh my god.
Possibly.
Sure it is. I would have been far happier if,
Yeah.
and again, can't believe I'm going to say it, if they
Yeah.
had just selected Venti the Ultra Twink, that would be a much better character, because at least
Yeah.
Venti has a real personality.
I
Even if
suppose
it's do what you want, freedom is great. I'm gonna go fuck off and drink.
Lamal
Yes.
alcohol.
Okay,
That is
but here's the thing.
Literally Venti.
Here's the thing. That would make for an absolutely hilarious version of Taylor, because Venti would be violently upset at the idea of what the
Everything in
symbiotes
Worm.
are doing.
Whoever
Of
had
Taylor
Venti's
and
powers
Worm and
powers
Symbiotes.
and whoever got blessed by Venti would probably kill Masters on sight though.
Oh,
What-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
What's your power set from Venti's blessing? I'm a twink.
Well,
And you
what-
like your power over wind? No, the power is
Nope.
it turned me into a twink. Oh,
No, hold on.
have you tried? Imagine he
be
gets
fair-
wind powers, but only when they drink.
No, that'd be fine.
He gets gassed. No,
just stop. Get
he's
the
a
fuck
twink,
out.
but it's
Fucking
the
fart
Astolfo
fetish.
twink.
Listen, Phoenix.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
knows Morax is the
I
best.
know.
Everyone knows Morax is the best.
The idea of worldly
Um,
rulers was a big part of his arc. Yeah. Even I knew Morax was the best. But anyway, point being,
Wait, no, hang on. I'm sorry. Taylor,
yeah,
Taylor gets blessed by Venti. The powers made me a twink. Aren't you a woman? He took away the small boobs that I had. I'll never forgive the bastard.
No, even worse. Somehow my chest got bigger.
God damn.
Did you consider that he might have been making fun of you? Unfortunately, yes.
blesses you as a shit post. Boobs grow bigger.
That's the worst bit is Venti would bless you as a shit post. That's the
Yes.
Oh,
worst bit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
In thoughts, why is there no difference? Yeah.
Why is there no difference? I have blessed you with
Nothing's
twink
changed.
powers. Why has nothing changed? Venti, with a shit-eating smile on his face.
Taylor looks around. Taylor looks around, looks at ass. You just made my ass bigger. Shit-eating grin on Venti's face.
Or in this case, wait, there's no difference. What are you talking about? Your power's right in front of you. You're in front of me. Yep.
I didn't give you twink powers. You were always a twink. This was just a journey of self-discovery.
Jesus.
But I was
The
a
real
woman.
twink was inside you all along.
Ugh.
Competitions.
God damn it, Sneaky. Ugh. So how do I get a real blessing, Venti? Buy me alcohol.
True.
Fly me with alcohol. You're a terrible
Literally
god.
Venti.
You're a terrible deity. I'm the best deity.
You see, my moral alignment is chaotic venti.
Epic alcoholic.
Oh, okay, but all jokes aside, Venti really is one of my favorite Archons, just because the dude is just so fucking chill. Like,
Someone
I'm
will
gonna
give him a
fuck
link
off
to
that
the
now.
one
stream.
time.
I'm gonna fuck off now. Okay, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna just go. Drink. Ride the winds. But what if we need you? Ask nicely, I'll show up.
Indeed.
If I wake up.
In regards to tone and dialogue being the same and vastly different characters, I worried I'd be banned from space battles if I honestly wrote how an E88 versus a merchant member would approach their day-to-day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. You get banned real fast.
Somehow my story was not banned. I don't know how it wasn't banned, but it
Yeah.
wasn't.
You must have just posted it like just when the stars aligned that they looked at what you wrote, if they did.
I guess they
and nothing
glossed
triggered
over
anything.
that one word. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just didn't get enough views to be worth it, or I don't know.
The stars just aligned and it worked out.
Yeah, it's it's part of the reasons why I didn't want to write further chapters. I felt like I was treading on already dangerous ground. I was
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would have started in story already advocating for terrorism by like chapter 2. So I was speed running.
Oh yeah, speed running
yeah.
the fan.
On SB, they consider anything that's not in clownifying the Nazis as glorifying the Nazis. So even if you just play them straight, play them canonically, it's glorifying Nazis.
I mean,
know.
maybe that's why I got away with it, because she killed them both in the end. I don't know, but
I mean, what wasn't the most you did like just have the N-word get flung around and just like nothing really too much?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
but
yeah,
space
it
battles,
was
that
it
shouldn't
was
enough.
said just once. Yeah, it was said just once, but
That's why I think that's probably why they didn't say shit, because like you weren't flinging around like having them say it 20 times, nor were you really covering them that much. So it's like it was a one and done thing. They probably took it
is
as.
that am I gonna click this and it's gonna say nuclear?
I'm
Oh,
allergic to
clanker.
very bad ideas.
My mind is broken by this logic, how people easily believe it, especially since Cauldron mods say literally that stuff all the time. For me saying that words. Yeah. Well, it's so your first problem is expecting logic from this section of people. That's your first mistake. They don't have logic. They don't have
Every single choice and decision they made is entirely emotional instinct.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's not internally consistent. That's what the word I was looking for. It's not internally consistent. They're not like, they don't have the logic of because I hold X at this level, I'm also going to hold X deviation 1 to the same level as X. But they don't have that. They reclassify X deviation 1 as Y and hold that to a different level.
Of course.
And they don't view it in the same, like when you accuse them of hypocrisy, they get confused because they don't view Y as X deviation 1. They view it as Y. And to them, it's always been Y. It'll always be Y. And until it's no longer needed to be Y, they'll keep viewing it as Y. It's a complete
dissonance.
It's not even, well, it is, cognitive dissonance is more...
Well, they're not experiencing cognitive dissonance from the things that should be generating cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say they're very decidedly not experiencing cognitive dissonance.
It's more, they would have experienced cognitive dissonance if they didn't immediately take a massive dose of copium and recategorize reality around their feelings.
Yes.
They're an endless circle jerk, taboo stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get on with the story here of endless. God damn it.
Endless Legend.
Endless Legend. Yes, thank you. I got RPGs on the brain. Legend here is getting coffee enema. Like something out of a police show, he could see a small crowd formed around the building. That's not something out of a police show. He wouldn't be comparing it to a police show.
He's reality.
He's a decades experienced parahuman at this point. He knows of the bystander effect. This isn't. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Cordoned off as it was, its walls were reinforced concrete, with a large slope to one side, perhaps an access ramp for people who needed to be brought in under restraint or with mobility issues. And on the front, several tiers of steps led to 4 sets of double doors.
No, okay,
What's
look.
the point of this description? That's what
Listen,
I'm wondering.
I am invoking
Shoot
Chekhov's
scenery.
fucking gun. What
Yeah.
is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna fall down it and die, break their neck.
the doors explode, covering
If you do,
everyone with
congratulations,
shrapnel.
Chekhov's gun utilized. If not, shut up. Right? We don't need this. And here's the thing: we don't need the scene established because we have been in a warehouse for 7
He
hours.
knows what a courthouse looks like.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you don't even really, but it's like you don't need to describe the courthouse unless the descriptor of the courthouse is important. Alvor.
So I guess I'm still just getting roasted, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. You're gonna get roasted for the next hour.
I've even closed my bingo just to roast you.
You're not a hamburger on the grill. We've passed steak. We've gone beyond ribs. You are now in the slow roast section. You have entered the pulled pork era.
You're in the. You are the crock pot.
Is it that bad?
Well, no, it's like we said, it's not so much that it's bad in that you have a lot for us to talk about.
That's why I was kind of asking for DMs, but no, I got you.
I suggested we go, and then she just kept reading, and I was like, well, I might as well contribute.
Yeah, all right. No, I got you.
Listen,
You sound
I'm
kind
sure
of sad
Sneaky's
that we're
more than willing to summarize this into a DM.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, I'm
No,
absolutely
no,
gonna summarize this down to a DM, and it's not gonna be 3 hours of watching us roast you.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, Kaz. I was hoping that it would be a relatively quick scene, and I was hoping to just sort of mostly focus on Legend, and have it be like, hey, did I manage to have Legend play a reasonable authority figure? Did I give him?
You're the one who wrote Legend, because that's what actually we kind of are.
That's what we've been
now.
talking about, yeah, this whole time, since you've been gone. Yeah, basically, my summary for this whole section so far is, I don't see Legend here. I see Alvor in another suit. Yeah.
Gotcha.
As for me, I'm just gonna go ahead here. I am gonna remind you to always consider Chekhov's goddamn gun.
Okay, Alvor.
What do you mean you just
You
see
don't
Elmore?
understand.
He,
That is his
he was
natural
blessed to be a
state.
twink.
Yeah. To be clear, Alvor, we did have a comedy section that it was utterly unrelated to you.
Oh yeah, it was like a 20-minute tangent, but yeah. But like I said, I'll give you the actual relevant constructive criticism in a DM.
I gotcha. As for Chekhov's gun, I'm not You mean the description of the building?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's more saying, why are you describing these things that aren't actually going to be relevant to the scene or the purpose of the scene?
It's
Like versus,
chewing
I understand trying to set,
scenery.
I understand trying to set up scenery, but we don't need scenery setting. You've established that we're in a courthouse, and you even had scenes where Taylor destroyed sections of that courthouse, and you showed us that. Additional scene setting is not required.
Along
Like,
with
we
the
know what a courthouse
over-describing
is.
of things that don't
Next chapter.
really matter. Over-describing things that don't really matter, like the courthouse and the mobility ramp for people being held or restrained or whatever. That just feels like it was padding word count and didn't even need to be in there.
Anyway, so
I was
we're gonna...
hoping to use that next chapter, but at this point, should I just delete this story?
Well, no,
Oh,
absolutely.
dude, no, absolutely not. No,
No. Listen,
no.
As someone-
Everything's a
as
learning
someone who-
experience.
Yeah, as someone
Also-
who likes your stories, I'll say no, don't delete to you. But as someone who's got to read Genshin and Worm stories like this, I say yes, just because it's those two categories.
At least he's
Yeah,
honest.
okay, ignore that, but genuinely, so here's my question. How is the ramp going to be used and how is it relevant, and can you simply introduce it next chapter?
I could have probably just introduced it next chapter, but I was going to try and have a big dramatic exit.
Where she strolls down the ramp, I assume?
I was going to have her literally carry the makeshift stage down the ramp, settle it outside, and then fly off with Canary.
'Cause I was gonna say, I remember Canary was restrained and even had her mouth like fucking jammed shut. So I thought maybe that you'd have her like on wheels and literally Taylor fucking like rolls her down.
Yeah,
out of the
well, that's what I was
courthouse.
going to say. I was actually expecting that to be what it was, and because my follow-up to that was going to be, if it's because Canary is restrained, we've just seen Taylor vibrate
No, she
guns
just
out
goes
of
Canary's restraints. That's the literal end of the chapter. Is hey, why don't I let her speak in her own defense?
No,
Disintegrates
and
the
that's
restraint.
what we're more trying to say is it really relevant to heavily describe this ramp that might be possibly used in the future when, I mean, all you've said so far is Taylor's going to take the bench down the ramp, and Taylor can fly as far as I'm aware, right?
Right.
Just
Here's
set
what
up
I
the
would say
map.
for this ramp. It's good that you actually had something considered for when you brought the ramp into existence. But here's what I would say:
Mhm.
the ramp is something that you can mention briefly when
Yeah.
she's going down. Right? Taylor strolled
Alright,
out.
yeah.
Taylor Fontaine, whoever, strolled outside, taking the stage outside. Oh, hey, look, a ramp.
She made sure to use extra pomp and made everyone wait as she strolled down casually, like instead of taking the stairs, because like she's clearly strong enough that for whatever the fuck she's carrying, she didn't need to take the ramp. So her taking the ramp is
Yeah.
completely showman. So featuring the ramp as part of her showman act doesn't require it to be mentioned earlier than this.
Gotcha.
It can be.
No, my thinking was because Legend is coming in from the outside. Not only is he taking in the whole scene, partly as a professional, so that he's sort of analyzing what's the structure of the building, the ways in and out, etc., etc. But that way, the readers know where it exists in relation.
No,
the
and
thing is,
I
that
understand.
Wait, that is something we brought up. You just said
Yeah.
Legend is a professional. You had him describe the front of a courthouse like a cop drama TV show.
Yeah,
That was literally your
that's
words.
kind of like I said again. This is why I said it's Alvor in a different suit.
That was my co-author, but yeah.
Okay. No, but that's
so the
important. It's
co-author
your
was
co-author.
involved here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he made he did make edits and tweaks to it. Generally, his opinion is I'm very, very serious a lot of the time, and I'm very, very
okay. Well, I'm just gonna be clear with you right here. I think any edits he made to the legend section then have completely undermined everything you worked for in this scene and have completely destroyed Legend's characterization and has completely ruined any sort of pacing you were going for here. If you had
Especially-
Legend show up as a very serious moment, as a juxtaposition to Taylor's more whimsical scene, it would have been a far better execution. In fact,
Yeah, and
from now hearing this, now understanding this is kind of the back and forth you guys have, it should have been him writing all of Taylor's perspective, and then you come in with this serious Legend perspective of, no, this is reality, this is how it's being shown, you are terrorizing these people, you are acting like a tyrant.
Because that was my primary intention with Legend, was that it was this was something that for normal people should be absolutely horrifying. Obviously, she's not like the 9. Obviously, she's not as bad as them.
Right, but
But
this is
still
Legend.
a very powerful.
Yeah. Also, and
Yeah.
in some ways, this is actually probably worse because she's ripping the last facades of normalcy. Like,
Yeah.
I know that
Yes,
like
very
the
much so.
Slaughterhouse 9 have like ruined, but how do I say this?
They haven't ruined courthouses yet. They haven't ruined the
Yeah.
idea that justice can still happen.
Yeah, like they don't explicitly go into a courthouse and ruin it. Sure, if there's court that happens to be going on in the city, they'll kill everyone in that courthouse, but that's incidental to them murdering everyone. Here's
Well, it's also the fact that they kill everyone, so it kind of negates any sort of demoralization that could come from them destroying the courtroom, because then it's just, oh, more villains destroying more things.
Yeah.
Instead, this is a villain mocking the court system, leaving everyone alive, being dismissive and whimsical, and showing how much of a farce the whole thing is.
making it clear that no justice can be done to them. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's one point I've had Fosilors in particular consistently make, is that none of this really matters. All of it is essentially societal play acting. What comes down to it is, do you have the power to enforce your rules? If you do, you get to make the rules. She is unironically a theocratic, I guess a judiciocracy, whatever, a divinely ordained absolute
Theocracy or
judicial
whatever, yeah, sure.
monarchy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could also say
And so-
theocracy because, you know, who's Theo?
Literal god king, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't care about what we would consider normal civil norms. She doesn't really
No,
care about democracy.
and I do mention a lot of that in the moments you were not here, as well as when we were covering the
honestly,
last bits.
I think to me the most important thing I've gotten out of this is you saying your co-writer is accusing you of being too serious. The problem here is that I don't think you are. I think you are exactly as serious as the shit
should have
show
been.
that Worm is requires.
And it's not even that, it's what that scene itself requires. In a different scene,
Like-
maybe Wyvern is right, but in this scene exactly, the seriousness is something that's needed.
The seriousness needed to be a juxtaposition, and this is why I was, insulting you earlier with the Alvo in a different suit comment, because I thought you had written this entire thing.
Yeah, didn't you say you had written the entirety?
Right, but when I say wrote this entire thing, I mean this is all you. He made no edits beyond grammar. Not that, he included bits here and there and in improved sections of the words. Like, no,
I
that's...
was under the I was under the impression you had written it based on what you told us earlier. Like, oh, this is all entirely you. No input.
No, I sort of sat down after that, and then that evening, and then a little bit the day after, I wrote it out, and then he made edits and tweaks to it.
So this is
you should've said
I don't know how you guys run the system between you two when you write the story, but with Gray and I, when we write Undying Scarab, and Gray writes a scene, I make comments on the scene, and then Gray goes through, looks at my comments, asks questions about my comments, or answers questions I had in the comments about this scene. Why is it like this? What's going on here? What's supposed to be shown here? Is this a better rewriting of this sentence or this dialogue line or this display? And then he'll either hit accept on them or answer the questions. And that's how we handled it. And then when I do it, very rarely, that's what he does instead, is he makes the comments. And that way we're both on the same page the whole time. So like I said, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know if that's exactly how you do it, but it sounds like you just accepted the changes he made in good faith that he was making the correct ones.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose a big part of that is what little regular feedback we do get tends to come, well, frankly, more from the anime side of things, and so I think it's a bit of an issue of certain things are fine for
Yeah.
anime, for Genshin,
I
but not for.
specifically
I
brought
also want to
that
be
up.
clear. Genshin Impact is possibly one of the worst written fucking stories in existence, and anyone that says Genshin Impact's story is good writing is clearly compromised in the fucking brain.
No.
Its
story is shit writing, but the side content you get, like the side quest for Morax, is actually good. That's the thing. The side content can be written well.
Well, that's because the side content is written by single writers. The main quest is written by committee and by a lead writer, and the side content, each quest only has like 1 or 2 writers at most. So that's why it's a consistent voice in all of the side content.
Well, I guess I'll let you guys finish roasting me. I may not watch the stream. I may wait for those DMs then.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
That's totally fair.
And it's like we said, there are parts that seem good, but it's just jarring to just sometimes see some of this random moments in this chapter.
And I'll say this: one other major source of feedback is just sort of the metrics of response, of readership, of likes, of comments and stuff. And so when I let him take more of the lead, or when I sort of just accept his changes, the metrics just go through the freaking roof, man.
Oh, no, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I totally get it. And this is not me castigating you for accepting his changes at face value because you trust that he was making the right ones. I think this is a failure of communication between the two of you. And I said this in the podcast. I'll say it now and I'll say it in the DMs. I think his idea of what Taylor should be is very different from what your idea of what Taylor should be. I think the current characterization of Taylor is very different from each of your ideas of what you think Taylor should be. I think that how to put this? I don't think you guys are communicating properly when it comes to these scenes. Because like I said here, like this should have been the serious scene. This should have been the serious moment where serious things happen seriously, to show that Taylor's whimsical nature, while yes, from the perspective of a tyrant and a god, that the universe of Worm really isn't that big of a deal when you got way bigger shit going on with the Genshin verse. For these people who live here, this is serious.
That's one thing I sort of thought was important, was the fact that the perspective of someone at the absolute high end of power becomes very divorced from people at the small end of power, and I mean that happens in real life in other ways, and that was something I wanted. One of the first things I had Taylor do was when she was clearing up the boat graveyard. She literally carried these massive decrepit ships out of the water, found abandoned or empty parts of the city to sit them down in, and then just sat them down there. Frankly, for almost not just selfish purposes, but because she knew it would force the city to finally do something about that. And then later on, I actually had to trim this down a little bit because it was getting into it too much. But the mayor even points out, hey, we had to redirect parts of the budget just to pay the DWU to go fix this, and everyone sort of thinks the DWU is sort of affiliated with her because they seem to be specifically benefiting from her actions, and yeah, she is actually sort of being a little bit
honestly,
there,
I'm gonna be real with you here, Alvor. I think the two of you playing off each other could have made this story 10 times better. Just from my mental image of how each of you write, just from learning the separation of your styles, I think the two of you, if you had played off each other instead of allowing Wyvern to moderate you on this story, would have made this story far better in its narrative description. Now, maybe the numbers wouldn't have been as good, and maybe if you're just going for numbers and you're just going for commissions or money, that's fine. I'm not castigating you for it. If you want to earn income off it, do the thing that earns income.
Consistent.
But
it's what I do every day.
Yeah. If you wanted to tell a really grand narrative of a character on one end being whimsical, tyrannical, power fantasy, what happens when this sort of power lands in this sort of world. And then on the flip side, you show the peasant's perspective, the person who doesn't know more than this world, the person who wakes up, tries to do their 9-to-5 job, hopes they don't get shot, hopes they don't get robbed, hopes today isn't the day that the E88 decides to burn down their apartment because one black guy has an apartment in there or something, right? They're just trying to make their day through, and they open up their fucking door to leave the apartment that day, and Taylor sweeps through, having disintegrated their car in a fight with another villain or something, right? And that just ruined their life.
They see tens of thousands of tons of screeching metal hovering across the city as it's seemingly levitated with no real restraints or restrictions on it. I mean, that was something I wanted to do a scene. Holy shit.
And I think if you had either
wasn't
kept the scenes to small little interludes or little in-between chapters or little ending bits to the chapter to add a bit of a serious recontextualization to her actions, again, I think that would have made a better story for you. But like right now, you have this super serious scene starting off with literally a copy-paste of what Taylor did. Keith, no, he was on shift. He was legend right now. Tee.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is legend. This is a guy who's supposed to be decades into the hero business, hardened number 3 hero in the world. And he's describing the court scene like a police drama. And, I gotta remind myself what I am right now.
Yeah, like, just for a frame of reference, I had to work with my sibling at one point. We worked in different areas, but I would occasionally see and interact with him. When I walked in the doors, he was not my sibling. He was Josh. And as soon as I walked out of the doors, he was my brother. And people would tell me, they're like, oh, like, you walk in the doors and, like, I'll hear, they're like, why don't you just say, hey, bro, or hey, what's up, brother? Like, you're just like, Josh. I'm like, because at work, he's not my brother. At work, he's a coworker. There's a completely different set of rules and interactions there. And I was making that switch inside of a couple weeks consistently because I was doing it day in and day out. Legend is a hero. As has been mentioned, he's been doing this for years. Legend will not have that problem.
Yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying.
I think your seriousness would have shined here. I think a very serious scene written by you being very serious and Legend being this hardened hero who's trying to save, well, in his mind, trying to save Taylor because he doesn't know how powerful she really is. He just thinks that she's some kid with a lot of power going down a bad path really fast. And he's trying to save her. I think that would have been a great scene. But right now, from what we're reading here, we're going through this. It's been animified, I guess, is the best way to be derogatory about it.
New slur unlocked.
Well, not really. It's just kind of the truth.
You animer.
And so I guess I'm just gonna have to learn how to sometimes say no and mean it.
Well, it's not just that. It's just when he makes changes, read the scene over again, consider the change, and then ask him why the change. Why did you think this change made the scene better? Because it's not just important for that scene. As I said earlier, it's important for dialogue between the two of you. If he's making the change because he thinks you're being too serious in this scene and that it needs to be more, happy, fun, feel times, and you're coming at it from the angle of, no, this needs to be a really serious scene, and then he comes in with making the changes and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm too serious with this scene. But you're thinking on completely different tracks. You're not on the same train line. You're on 2 completely different tracks heading different directions, not realizing that. And so just by bringing up the fact that, hey, why did you say he in this scene? I'm kind of really going for a really, hard, edgy scene here. And he's like, oh, I thought you were trying to do this. It clears up confusion. It realigns you guys.
Gotcha. So just learn how to actually communicate with people and learn how to say no sometimes.
Yes, as a writer,
I know
it's
that
very
we're
important.
actually
Say
asking
it
for
like
very
that, but
difficult
yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Step 1 of being a storyteller is learning how to tell a story. Step 2 of being a storyteller is learning how to tell a story to people.
No, I guess I do appreciate this. It's just it's a little overwhelming, and I guess maybe
I'm
getting,
gonna hit you with the DM, and you can review it at your leisure.
Yeah, no. Thank you, and I'll let you guys finish roasting it then. Hey, I gave you a show.
Yes,
I can't
true
say
that.
I've never done anything.
True that.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, take care, man.
Night.
Oh, well, hopefully you do at least hear this part. I respect you for coming on to ask.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And
That takes a lot of courage.
it is why I keep trying to be like, look, dude, I'm not ripping into you. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm shitting on you. I'm just explaining that what you're doing has a lot more depth to it. Because I don't want you to jump off the sea cliff.
And delete your fic.
Yeah. I want you to know that the Foundation allows me to talk about the house more, because there's not much to say about a house that's literally just a pile of rubble. Besides, the house is a pile of rubble. What else do you want me to say? I can't comment about the walls or the color of the drapes. The fucking house is a shit heap. A literal shit heap. Like, if I can walk into the house, I can now talk about the drapes. I can now talk about the wall arrangement and the furniture. If the fucking house is collapsed and decrepit and maybe possibly also on fire and or being arrested for pedophilia, I can't talk about the drapes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The scene didn't need to be serious. Happy, fun, field times can be work. It just needs a unified vision. Rather than an intense, serious legend, it could be an effortless business legend. Yeah, exactly. And I was just trying to give him ideas on how to achieve the scene he was envisioning in his mind, not trying to tell him how his narrative should go for a better story. Because unlike all the other authors, obviously, which I do say this is how you should do it for a better story, he's here to actually take criticism to improve. And if he's like, yeah, for this scene, I wanted to be serious. Yeah, and yeah, he's not a bad writer. It's just a lot of little mistakes.
The other guy's holding him back.
It feels like a
true.
fic written by two different writers instead of a collaboration.
True, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, and that's honestly what I'm saying is it's like I'm an author who's only published stories co-authoring with other people. And I would like to think, as the most popular Warhammer story and one of the most popular Worm stories on space battles.
Are you also the most popular Warcraft story on space battles?
Oh, I am one of them. I am the most popular Warcraft story on space battles. Yeah. And including fanfiction.net, I am like in number 3 most popular Warcraft stories, period. So, I would like to think I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Maybe I don't, but I would like to keep that fantasy for myself. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like he's suffering a lot because he keeps saying, oh, Wyvern likes the anime and he does these things and the metrics go up, and it doesn't sound like there's a lot of actual communication going on between the two of them.
No.
It sounds a lot like Wyvern does a scene and he makes some edits in terms of grammar and his general idea of what he thinks the story direction should be. And then when he writes scenes, Wyvern just makes edits of his own personal style. He's not fixing Alvor's scenes like an editor. He's rewriting Alvor's stuff his way.
Into his own style, yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't sound like there's a lot of communication going on between the two of them about why. Because, like I said, Alvor seems to be trusting Wyvern's changes a lot. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to trust your co-author. That what they're doing is probably correct. But it's also very important to make sure you're on the same page as them. Because Gray and I had that happen a couple times. Gray and I had that happen a couple times in Undying Scarab, in where he would write a scene, and I would make changes, and then he would accept the changes, and then he would keep writing in that same direction that I was trying to move us away from again. I'm like, Gray, why are you doing this? He's like, oh, I thought we were going this way. I was like, no, this is why I made these changes here, here, and here. I was thinking this idea and these plot beats, and then we have this event happen. He's like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we can do that. You have to talk. You know, as I said, step 1 of a storyteller is telling a story. Step 2 is telling it to people. Well, step 3 of co-telling a story is talking to your co-teller.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're telling the same story. But yeah, and so that's why I said that Alvor should have just written the super serious scene, because that's what he, in his mind, was gushing about on the previous podcast. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make this like super serious foil scene where like Legend comes in and does everything right to clash with what Taylor's doing to show her she's wrong, and
then you got Wyvern coming in making edits that kind of
Teehee, I forgot who I was today. Oh, I'm so glad that my boyfriend gave me coffee.
It's a weird anime slice of life moment that doesn't belong in the scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially because a villain of immense power who fought Viz just attacked the courtroom.
And is declaring that I am in charge.
I am now the tyrant of this courtroom.
Captain.
I am the tyrant in gold.
Like if a Wyvern was trying to like tell or alter it, just like a sort of like he's doing everything in his power to try and ignore the breaking of what did you say, like the breaking of the last sense of
the breaking of the society, the breaking of the last
the removal of the final facade.
Yeah. He was straight out like he heard what happened, and he's just like his brain is just doing everything it can to ignore it as much as possible till he has no choice. Like that would have been a fine lead-in to it's like, oh, he's just straight out denial right now.
He's in cope mode because I want to be clear.
That might have worked a bit more.
What is really important is
not
that
for Legend.
even though I doubt they're saying this on purpose. Well, actually, I think Alvor's saying this on purpose. I don't know about his co-author. Fontaine or Focaine or whatever is saying the quiet part of Worm out loud.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yes.
Which is, I am in charge, I have the power, right? And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Because 99% of the people don't have the ability to do shit about it. And even among people that do have power, it's even winnowed further because, oh, cool, I make myself hot. What can I do against someone who has so much control over water they made friction destroy a gun? What can I do? Well, I'm just going to quote Cortana here. You can just float and sputter.
True. But yeah, like I said, he's clearly got issues of imagining the scenes from the characters' perspectives. You know, fucking Legend's serious. He is.
Yes.
He wants to portray this heroic figure for everyone that they can look to rely on and be relieved by. And he genuinely means it. That's the other important part. He's not portraying this heroic figure to get the praise. He's not portraying the heroic figure because it must be done. He's portraying it because he wants to be a hero, and he wants people to feel safe when he's there. And so him flying in and being like, oh, I'm just gonna smile. Yes, that's right, everyone. I'm here smiling for you. I'm so glad my boyfriend gave me gay coffee.
I mean,
I am
it
incredibly
kind of-
disappointed that no one has a gif of Cortana saying you can just float and sputter. I must now depart for YouTube. Carry on.
Oh God, please stop with the gay lisp, Sneaky.
Yes, please.
Sneaky, please continue it, as it disturbs them far more than it disturbs me.
Oh my God.
God, this
But
is
no,
so
Like, are you
Uh,
serious
it-
right
it's-
now?
It sounds like anytime the left actually wants to prop a group up, when they accidentally reveal how racist or homophobic, etc., they really are. This
Yeah,
is
well,
what they really think of you, and it's so much worse than anything anyone ever said about them.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, as Phoenix said, he wrote him like a gay stereotype. And yeah, it's... I mean, again, it's good for the Genshin people who probably don't know Worm and are probably just here from Genshin because they saw their favorite waifu was in Genshin now. In Worm now, as some weird girl, but she's basically acting like Farina, so it doesn't really matter. She's basically Farina. Oh my God, for real. Like I said, if he wants money, if he's doing this for money, if the sole purpose of writing this story is money, I get it. Let Wyvern make all of the changes possible. If Wyvern's changes is what brings in the people who give them money, change away. I'm just offering
But are
criticism
they
based on
making
his
money
vision.
off of it?
I don't know. That's what I'm just saying. If getting view numbers is what's important from this story, then let Wyvern make the changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if telling the story is what's important to you, take my suggestions under advisement. Float and sputter. Indeed.
Truly,
But-
truly one of my favorite lines from Cortana.
Besides,
Which,
most
by
of
the
these
way,
people...
actually, you know what? If you want a character who's flippant and
Yeah,
unconcerned,
Cortana.
that is actually a great character to study. You can just float and sputter, and then moves on talking to the chief, ignoring the existence of the monitor.
God damn it, Infant.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
it
yeah.
is 9 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
10 nearly 10 o'clock for Sneaky.
Yeah.
I am instead going to simply end the stream and leave everyone with my favorite version of Charge theme, where it keeps getting faster every time. Which is his theme works surprisingly good at higher tempos.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, let's finish this up then, gentlemen. Let's see here. Tellingly, there were cameras pointed at every single one of them, despite the police line that was trying and failing to push the crowd
my
back.
God, we're back. We're on the cop drama again.
Yeah. There were still many who felt brave enough to stick around despite knowing what was going on. Yeah, it's called bystander effect.
Yeah,
Even
A, it's called the
crowding the
bystander effect,
road.
and B, I want to be clear. This should not be surprising or noteworthy for Legend at all. For crying out loud, Taylor remarked on people staying there and filming cape fights.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's just like, oh, cool, thing happening. I mean, that's just general human nature. Is like, the whole thing happened. Like, that's the. If you've ever been on a fucking highway and a crash happened and all the traffic slows, it's not because the crash happened, technically speaking.
Rubberneckers.
It is because everyone is slowing down to look at the crash because they want to look at the crash because thing happened. Not because the crash is somehow blocking the road. It's just because people want to see the crash.
Because the rubbernecking, yes.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so I should probably say something about all the rubbernecking. I don't think he would say that. He turned towards a large number of reporters, quite a few of whom were already trying to get a better shot. A better shot of what? And did his best to look a smidge imposing. Sorry, let me read that proper, Gaily. And did his best to look a smidge imposing.
Whoa. What?
Again, the mental damage this is causing you all is glorious for me. Listen, I went to college with this man. I listened to him use that voice all the time.
I did.
Because he was making it was so easy to make fun of certain people at that school.
Oh god, yes it was. Anyway, this is a rather large spectacle. His voice, however, remained indulgent. All right then, I guess I have to do it again. If everybody wants to take a look, then it might be a great deal easier if we had more room to set up.
Oh, God.
Some of the crowd got hit.
Yes.
Some of the crowd got his meaning instantly, and most didn't, and he made a show of helping a small black woman in a scooter backwards.
Why she gotta be black?
Why she gotta be a
I think
woman?
that's just a... Yeah, I think they're just giving a description of a character. I don't think
No,
it's anything particularly
I'm
noteworthy.
aware.
Like,
It's just a real, again, another Chekhov's gun moment of like, why does this small black woman in a mobility scooter matter, and why would that make
because
people
she's
actually
small woman.
move?
actually shoot, what's the illusion cape that's in the wheelchair? Alternate dimension cape that's in the wheelchair?
I don't know. Trickster?
No, who works
It's
for
not permitted.
works for Fault Line.
Labyrinth? No, Labyrinth's not in a
Labyrinth?
wheelchair.
No, not
Labyrinth's
Labyrinth, or
not-
not Fault
No,
Line,
no,
but
no.
yeah, Labyrinth.
She doesn't produce illusions. She doesn't
Yeah,
work for Fault Line. She's part of the of Trickster's group.
Yeah, I
And
know. I got
she-
confused
Oh,
with Trickster,
Genesis.
but yeah.
Genesis.
Oh,
Genesis,
Genesis,
that's it.
yeah.
She produces.
I had to get. I'd have gotten there
projections
eventually.
of the
Yes, I was
Siberian.
very wrong.
Depositing her next to her apartment's entrance. Wait, whoa. How did you know it was her apartment?
Oh,
Yeah, wait, hang on.
He knows everything.
just putting her
Do you
next to a random
stalk
apartment.
small black women in mobility scooter?
Yes, he does.
Also, why is there an
That's
apartment
no
just
canon.
across the street from the courthouse?
I mean,
Oh,
there.
answer that, but it
No,
would give you
no.
bad
Actually, that's a good
privilege.
point. No, the courthouses are usually separated, aren't they?
They're usually a very separate part of city government planning.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
maybe,
always.
maybe this place is. Who knows? Maybe this place has got an apartment right next to the courthouse. Yeah, well, sure. Why did you assume that it was her apartment? That's the real question.
Oh, because don't worry about it.
He didn't need his breaker form to carry all 100 Sorry. Apparently, I have to be gay for this one.
God damn it.
He didn't need his breaker form to carry all 100 pounds of exhausted senior citizen, after all.
Ugh.
It's just, but you get my point, though, right?
That brings to mind.
Yeah,
Yes,
but like,
ooh,
yeah, exactly. It's just,
I would
what is
ask.
this? No, Huh? So anyway, he walks over to this woman and he's like, "Argh!" And then just fucking, really puts his back into it and lifts with his knees. You'd be doing this with or without me? Yes, I would.
Me being here is not subjecting you to this. You remaining here is subjecting you to this.
No, don't tell them that. They might
Are
leave.
doing this. You are doing this to yourself. You masochistic, self-flagellating bastards.
Besides, most of these people didn't realize they were risking danger and arrest by the PRT to try and sneak a peek at what may be happening inside the building. No, they do. They know. Everyone knows. When the police ask you to back up, everyone knows what's going to happen next if you don't back up. They just don't care because they want to sneak a peek and they think, oh, well, maybe the police won't catch me. That's what every one of them thinks. I can tell you, 100% certainty. It's not that they don't know. What is the fucking point of this legend flex scene? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, I got nothing here.
Maybe they were as confused as Legend himself felt, wanting to know why the court building was being locked down.
Legend is confused. Are you allowed to say that these days?
I think in this instance it's all right, but it's just like, wait, why is Legend confused about this? He knows what happened. He literally says it right here. Forced to run out of his house because a villain took over a trial. That doesn't leave a lot of room for confusion. I mean, that's pretty laid out. I will say, that's probably the clearest sentence you have in this entire story so far, I've read.
Yeah.
Like, how is Legend... So either he's saying that no one's confused because everyone knows what's happening precisely, or Legend's retarded.
It's Worm, so probably a second.
Mods, fumigate this man's manga. Wanted to know why the corpo... that's what he'd say if asked. What? What? If asked what? Why would he say everyone is confused as he is? Why would he show up in the first place if he doesn't know what's going on? But
also, he can
why
move
would
at light
anyone
speed.
ask him? Why would anyone be like, oh, hey, the police are surrounding this courthouse and a SWAT team just got floated out in a giant water bubble. Why is Legend here? Said fucking no one?
They would have gone, Legend! It's Legend!
It's like, what? What's the situation inside? Most of the crowd took his suggestion of a triumvir, and the local police was able to properly cordon off the road and allow him to approach the PRT commander in charge of the scene. What's the situation inside? He made sure to land lightly. As opposed to what? Fucking slamming himself into the ground at Mach speed?
Yes, he didn't do a hero landing, Sneaky.
Yes.
But he doesn't have the constitution to do that.
Yeah, that's something that I would expect from, like, Alexandria showing up rather than Legend.
Yeah, Legend literally has to turn himself into a fucking laser beam to do shit, so he literally doesn't have a choice but to land lightly unless his landing is part of an explosion laser.
Which, I mean, to be clear, it should be.
That would be great, but yeah, again, so he can't land any other way but lightly because he quite physically cannot land.
Look,
He's
tired
hitting
of
the
having
ground
legs,
as a
okay?
laser, or he's teleporting over as a laser and then turning back into a human and landing on his feet like a normal person. Like I'm foaming at the mouth.
Gaily?
No.
Gaily foaming at the mouth.
Unwilling to spook the officers who set up a command tent outside the entrance. Wait. Again, unless he's fucking exploding, unless he decided to use a concussion laser as a way of landing for some fucking reason.
Legend
Why
has
is he
turned himself into a riot control system.
I mean, he
Yes.
is, but it's just. Why is he concerned about spooking the officers? I know how that sounds. Obviously, yes, you shouldn't spook officers who are currently ongoing a cordon. But
Yeah, you might get
like,
shot.
why is he
I
concerned?
mean, he doesn't care about that.
As a laser beam, of how heavy he lands on the ground. Like, why is that a consideration he has to make? Like, oh, I better not use my concussion explosion laser to land near these cops. That might spook them, and that would be bad. Like, is that a consideration really running through his mind? I better not explode?
Wait, hang on.
Well,
That's Bill Henderson. He bullied me in 5th grade. I'm definitely gonna fuck him up.
but like
Or-
the police
or
cordon
is
doesn't
the
even make
author
sense
saying
itself to
here
me
that-
because
It's
the police cordon
I
doesn't
probably
make
shouldn't
sense
make
because
that
they're
joke.
saying a man who can move at light speed took long enough to get to the scene of a crime for police to set up an entire cordon and control tent.
yeah.
Hush, you're not supposed to point out things like that.
So I
Like
can't make this joke out
This
loud,
should have
but-
just been Legend and Taylor facing off instead of all the police and everything there, like right now, because Legend is fast enough to show up at then.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear them keys clicking.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
Sneaky.
Oh.
I mean, come on, just you
definitely
only have
couldn't say
so
that
many.
one.
Yeah, you can't say that one. Anyway, what's the situation inside? He made sure to land lightly. Unknown. A bald man with sharp gray mustache. Is it because he's gay, author? Is he noticing the mustache
Yes.
because he's gay? Is that what you're trying to say, author? You didn't give any other physical description of this character besides the fact that he's bald and has a mustache. Is it because the legend is gay?
Legend likes what he likes.
We'll have more information when people
He
actually
likes
disperse.
Wallace?
Wait, hold on. So, Taylor comes in, explodes the courtroom, demands everyone get out that doesn't want to be there. The police set up a cordon, and no one's left the courtroom yet? Legend has shown up after the cordon.
Mm-hmm.
How have people not left the building? The building is so immense that it took them more time than it took for the police to show up and create a cordon for them to leave the building. That's how massive this building is. What do they need a fucking? Do they need
That's
an
a big fucking
airport?
courthouse.
What are they called? The airport
This is
walkways
a
that make you
shit
walk really
build-
fast? Like, this is like a multi-mile
Yeah,
long
that's-
courtroom.
God damn.
And they had a
God.
SWAT team! Did the SWAT
Mhm.
team get fucking captured by her?
Yeah.
How do they not know the situation?
Because he's
Because-
just like how Legend described it, it's written like a cop drama. That's it.
God damn it.
Last
Guys.
count, we had almost 5,000 people out there trying to get a glimpse of the savior of Canberra, and more coming too. Thanks. Okay,
Five-
so you do know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going on inside, but you do know everyone's showing up to see what's going on inside because you know exactly what's going on inside for them to show up to see it.
Like I said, this is written like a shitty
I
cop
figured it
drama,
out.
and
I figured it out. This is why this is why I'm getting so worked up about this. Is that Wyvern came in and made these gay little changes, literally gay little changes to this scene structure, but then didn't talk about this thing. Like he came in, edited a whole bunch of shit that didn't fucking matter, and then didn't talk about this scene, didn't talk about this part, didn't talk about this part, didn't talk about the chronological time of events, didn't talk about how fast or slow Legend showed up, didn't talk about why the police don't apparently fucking know anything about a situation they already sent SWAT in to deal with. Like, he came in and it's because he's doing the thing. He's doing the useless beta reader thing where you send a fucking chapter to someone and they read it and go, I liked the chapter, and they make no other fucking comments. When you're supposed to be there, not telling me the story was good, but fucking catching grammar errors. I'm not sending you the chapter early so you can get a fucking chapter early. I'm sending you the chapter early so you can fucking read it.
Mhm.
And that's what Wyvern's doing, except he's actually taking the time to read the whole fucking story and then make changes that have no relevance to what's going on in the scene. He's showing up to a shit-covered rock going, man, this rock is too covered in shit. Pisses on the ground next to it and says, there, I've fixed it.
Yeah.
Now it'll attract all the Genshin fans. It has shit and piss.
Rude. Good night, everybody.
Damn it. Night.
God damn.
No, it's just me attempting to get Sneaky to end on a high note.
Ha, false.
Oh no, I mean he's just savage.
I mean, let's be clear. Sneaky could end on a high note anytime he wants by using the voice, but
Receives a chapter to beta read. Type TFTC. Make gay little edits. Refuses to elaborate. Leaves. Yes. This is what happened. Yeah.
Man, that gif.
Yeah.
listen, I'm just playing shitty gacha games and listening to some music, so I can keep this going all night. I'm just gonna listen to number one.
Understandable.
Yeah, that keyboard clicking again.
I'm trying
Oh,
to find
boy.
the correct.
Uh-oh.
GIF? Me?
Yeah. Come on, where is it?
God damn it! it's
You're the
wrong.
only person you're lying to is yourself, and it's sad.
What did Infant say?
God damn it, Antoine. So anyway,
Damn it.
let's see. Okay, there must have been at least over a dozen men circulating about, helping contain the controlled chaos as best as they could. I'm not saying anything. Already a large van containing a small command center had rumbled to life. Oh, just magically
Rumbled to
appeared
life?
out of the ether, apparently.
Mhm.
Ready to adjust its position, and the troopers, armed with mostly confoam sprayers and brute tasers, seemed to be relaxing a great deal now that people were actually backing up. Oh, a PRT van! mention that, maybe? You know, to separate them from the cops, maybe? Possibly?
Yeah, because the cops got vans like that too.
I have to say that dealing with a riot wouldn't have been a great way to start double overtime. Oh my god, it is just a fucking crop drama. Oh my god, it really is just a cop drama. It's like, can we just hit on every single fucking cop drama stereotype? Let's see. Let's
Yes.
keep reading and find out the cop drama bingo. Still, what do we know? You already asked that twice now. We don't know. You've already answered it twice now with the same fucking answer. God damn it, it really is a cop drama. None of our people tried to force entry when SWAT. Wait.
What?
Okay. Again, they're doing this weird. They're doing this weird chronology thing where once again they're saying the action they did or didn't do before the thing that prompted the action to occur. None of our people tried to force entry when SWAT team came out weaponless and shoulder to shoulder with every convict in the place. Okay. Another man, short, stocky, sort of bulldoggedness. That's not a hyphenated word? Maybe? Question mark? I'm also really curious as to why his looks matter when no one else's looks have mattered so far. Only the mate costume.
Mustache Man's looks mattered.
Ah, I see. Well, yes, true. Only his mate costume
Legend
marked
has a
him as a
type.
hero. Huh?
I said Legend has a type.
Yeah, true.
And the type is Wallace, ladies and
Indeed.
gentlemen.
Legend belatedly noticing that he hadn't realized the man was there until now. Hades, stranger, one of the locals. I have a man on the inside. Stranger, shadow, stranger like me. Okay. There should still be a couple more people, though. Judge Green hasn't come out, though. Again, a lot of... Nor have some of the officers inside. He didn't blame them for trying to play it safe. If Ziz couldn't stop the woman inside, what chance did they have? So why did you send a SWAT team in? If you don't blame officers for not doing their job, why did you send a SWAT team, a normal, unpowered SWAT team with normal weapons and normal armor against someone who stopped Ziz?
I wanted to see what would happen, mostly.
You know, that'd be funny. In the end...
Looks at the audience. I thought it'd be funny.
In the end, with no riot in sight, the police and PRT were able to slowly work the cordon back. You work the people back and then you place the cordon. You don't just keep lifting the cordon and forcing people back again and again and again. That's completely disorganized. I mean, you would only do that in, like, really terrible scenarios and where you think the AoE of whatever's going on is going to increase massively after reassessment. But, again, you already know who's in there. You already know what's going on. Why...
Author knows nothing.
Oh, Arthur knows nothing.
In all but one suspect or convict accounted for, it was probably a death wash. A dead wash? A dead wash? What the fuck is a dead wash?
A dead wash is like pointless or a useless plan, I believe. It's like a saying, but I don't think it's an American saying either.
I've never heard of it. It doesn't sound American.
The washing of a dead
No,
body?
Yeah, I would say I haven't heard that one, so...
Slang.
Is he Australian?
No, I think it's European though, or Wyvern might not be American. Someone who's washed out might be washed.
Cancelled or inconclusive,
I mean, I
such as
understand what a wash is.
it's a
Oh,
wash.
not so
Therefore,
not
a
no
dead
longer as
wash.
successful or relevant. Not so as successful or relevant as they once were.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it
So
means.
where the fuck does it come from? Because I have literally never heard dead wash used ever. Even
Yeah, like
Urban
I've heard it's a
Dictionary doesn't
wash.
have
I've
it.
heard washed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead wash I've very rarely heard, but again, it's mainly from TV dramas. Like cop dramas, investigative, it says it like unsuccessful. It's a dead wash of a lead or something.
I've
That's more
never heard of
European
that.
TV.
Oh, well.
That's more European
European.
TV, so I don't think like it's not even Australian, it's more like British cop dramas actually.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kinda what it
then
sounds like.
it's got again. This is literally. I was literally just fucking talking about this earlier when someone uses localized slang that has no relevance to the area they're talking about.
It could. This one actually, dead wash might actually be Alvor saying. Could be something used in the Balkans as well.
Isn't Alvor American?
Alvor's
Is he American?
American, yeah.
Oh,
bro.
then it might be
He's
Wyvern.
in
Oh wait,
Florida.
I'm mixing him. I'm mixing him up with someone. Sorry.
You're mixing him up with
Yeah.
Slav or Noodle.
Possibly.
Has she made any demands? Okay, so you know she's in there. We don't know what's going on.
Wait a minute. Has she made any demands? We just went through an entire negotiation that was off screen.
Oh
Like, no, hang on, Sneaky. I actually want to make sure you include this in your DM. We just went through. We were just told there's an entire negotiation off screen. Has she made any demands? That's what the fucking negotiation is for.
Yeah. Not a peep. Some of the folks she let out said she's sitting in on a trial. Had just enough of them stay to cast judgment and told the others to leave if they didn't want to watch. Sounds insane, but she's literally taken over the trial. That's not what the cop would say. Sounds insane. She's going crazy. She's doing vigilante justice. They wouldn't acknowledge what she's doing as a legitimate trial. The ADA isn't exactly being clear about anything. Bit hysterical after some shooting started. Any injuries? Guns made this a lot more serious. Minimal. Minor abrasions, bruises, nothing more. He relaxed. No one is bleeding out. They had time. Time was good. Why is time good? Tell the audience why time is good. Well, it isn't the craziest thing I've heard of. That's not how you... If this is supposed to be a serious situation, you don't have the character being serious go, it's not that bad. It was only 150 words later. Bruh. Okay. Okay. Not by a long shot, but that doesn't change that this isn't good. I'm so glad you told us, author, that this is not a good thing.
And water.
What trial? The officer grimaced. Canaries. That complicated things again. As opposed to her sitting on some other murder trial?
Also, because Canaries, he's acting. This is a fandom where Canary trial was a big thing that all of America looked at, but it really wasn't. Most people only got it after the trial was over and saw what happened.
Yeah, I think
fandom
the whole...
where everyone...
Yeah, the whole everything
fandom,
was being streamed and everyone was watching, you know, sections of the trial taking place. That's a whole fandom thing that like happened just so they could fill
like
TV time.
she had fans, but I'm pretty sure she only had fans in the town that she mainly performed in, which was Boston, I think.
Yeah. He didn't know much about
and that's
the
also
singer,
why
despite it being a Cauldron plot. He knew that she was somehow connected to one of Cauldron's services. Okay, so he does know. Knew that she wasn't a combatant and that she had master powers, but that was about it. Why? Paige McAfee was about as small fish as possible when it came to their worries. Okay, so now he's downplaying the whole scene.
God damn it! Who the hell
Fucking
is?
hell. I'm gonna have to do a
Who the
massive
hell is
write-up.
shitpost wizard and sign server? That fucking there could be Carnival Cruise Vacationers here. God damn it!
He's shitpost wizard. That's his name.
Yeah, he's in memes.
I
He
know.
fucking made
I
an
know.
edit. That fucking
know.
edit there.
I know.
God damn it.
Anyway, what he did know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he didn't know much. He knew that she was a master. 20 words later, what he did know is she was a master. Again, this is not the author being bad. This is the author just forgetting what they previously wrote because they stopped probably in the previous sentence and then came back to it a day later and just totally
Or a
forgot.
different author took over entirely.
Yeah, or a different author took over entirely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There was some controversy about letting her perform, but she made a deal with them. The likelihood those feathers were smoothed over was high. Is this supposed to be some sort of reference to the feathers she has?
Either
In her
that or
hair,
it's a
maybe?
shitty bird joke.
Yeah, only not anymore. Oh, those feathers are now ruffled. Oh, wow, bird joke. Oh, I'm a Genshin fan. I think that's humor. The fight at Canberra against Smurg, Minds of Many, Fontaine acting out. First it was the Middle East, now taking over the courtroom. The guild may have insisted she was a villain. Keith knew there wasn't much bite to this claim. Okay, so if he knows she's not really a villain, why just start the fucking scene with this villain took over the courtroom?
It's not like he's even talking to anyone in that scene. Like,
yeah, he's reviewing it in his head, and we don't know anything, but here's all the things we do know, but we don't know anything. Sneaky, audibly worn down by Fic BS should be on the bingo. You know what? We don't have that one in the bingo. We have my disgust. We have me being shocked. We have me just accepting it. This is fine. Okay, buddy. We have cancer. We do not have sneaky, audibly worn down by Fic BS. That's true. It should go on the bingo sheet. I'll add that to the bingo sheet. Remind me to do
honestly, take my disgust. Honestly, I think we could make a Gundam quote out of it and make Max very upset.
Yes.
Let's see. Take my disgust, my hatred, and all of my... let's see. All of my... What should we do here?
Age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Uh-oh.
Oh no, what got posted?
Whoops! He's still here! Scatter! Scatter, boys! Scatter!
That's great.
Max, thank you for giving us the joy of laughter by jump scaring us with your presence.
That was amazing.
Ah, perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, God. All right. Whew. Oh. He reviewed the girl's files more times than he cared to. Okay, so he knows she's not a villain. So he knows a bunch about her, actually. So he knows nothing about her, but has reviewed her file multiple times. Got it. Okay. Now that we're clear on how much he does know about nothing. Rebecca was pessimistic. She didn't think the victory, blah, blah. David was tricky, blah, 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 blah. Am I just imagining things? Fontaine was the first time he felt justified in the worst. And, gentlemen, someone's on the way out. Shadow released, great deal of vapor, water vapor, stranger effects. Well, gentlemen, if that's alright, I'll be your audience today. She asked about Shadow. He was sent in to make sure there was no interference, doing our job, blah, blah, blah. Good sign. Fontaine, courtroom was modified, debris, blah, blah, blah. Reporter, camera, blah, blah, blah. DA, flustered, canary, legend. It's been a long while since Australia. It's been a bit. Okay, again, legend coming in. Oh, hey, legend. It's just been such a long time since Australia. I'm kind of awkward right now. And I'm no longer a flippin' asshole.
Mm.
Okay,
Like-
again, massive code
Yeah.
switch from Taylor.
Like, if Taylor was flipping at the start, this would make sense, but she wasn't. Like, this
Well-
feels like what Alva wanted Taylor to be like in the first scene.
Yeah,
And then it was
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. His presence seemed to draw a sigh of relief from everyone. Simple visit of Fontaine. Can I ask what brings you to town? See the site? Again, this whole levity thing. If you wanted to see the sights, Fontaine, I assure you there's better places to be than this stuffy courthouse. This is not being a foil, Alvor. I'm not sure what you got from me saying be a foil. Him coming in and being gay is not a foil.
I'm sure I could fit a fencing joke in there, but I might get in trouble.
Well, there might be some fencing when it comes to that, but
God damn it, Sneaky.
I assure you there's better places. This is a house call, actually. Oh my god. Okay. The young Cape recovered, no longer letting her surprise show. If anything, she seemed annoyed now, eyes looking down at the makeshift trial she put together. Are you a fan of Miss Page, then? Grimacing, she shook her head. Not a fan of Pop, legend. He tried not to feel bad for the woman. She was probably hoping this was some kind of intervention on her behalf, which would still be illegal, but at least this might get the trial annulled. Which woman?
Paige is Canaries.
No, I'm saying, but that's the problem, though. The person who just talked was Taylor. Canary is the person in question that might most likely be felt bad for, but the last person that talked was Taylor.
Yeah.
So it's who is he feeling bad for? Is he feeling bad for Taylor because of the situation, because Taylor's grimacing? Or is he feeling bad for Canary because I don't know, because of the whole situation? Like I'm here because someone opened their big mouth and decided to get my name involved in the circus. Something about, what was it again, the people have to fight masters in the court like I did at Canberra. Going by how pale the district attorney looked, Keith guessed the man had some very strong words to say before the trial, not realizing that, despite her relatively benign track record, Fontaine was still officially classified as a rogue with law-breaking tendencies. Not a villain technically, though he could see this changing all after that. So you're here to protect your reputation. I lost the context of this scene. Is it that Taylor feels that Canary was incorrectly judged and intervenes? I don't even fucking know anymore, because she's claiming she's here because people invoked her name. But we were told by Alvor that in the previous chapter, Lisa info dumped to her about Canary's trial and how bad and evil it is. So either she was already planning on showing up here and then they conveniently also invoked her name, so that's why she actually showed up here. But she's, instead of saying that the trial is bad, she's saying, oh, well, I'm only here because they said my name during the trial. So she actually doesn't care, according to everyone else, she actually doesn't care about Paige getting a fair trial. She's just angry that someone used her name.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like I said,
is-
again, I'm really confused. We have like 4 different interpretations about what's supposed to be going on. Goldfish Fins wrote this story. I mean, I don't want to be that harsh, but yes, that is what I've been saying. This is why I was telling Alvor he needs to communicate. I told him this last time, and I told him the time before that, and the time before that, and every single time he brings on a story or a chapter for us to look at, I keep telling him he needs to talk to Wyvern, because he's not. He's clearly not. Or at least he's not talking to Wyvern in a way that matters.
Either that or he's talking to Wyvern, then gives a fic to Wyvern expecting the talk to have solved everything instead of looking over it.
Yeah. 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 So you're here to protect your reputation. It was provocative, however mildly, and he did it intentionally. He needed to see how the girl would react before he attempted anything serious. Mixed messages, we're just moving on. Yes, actually, he was surprised by her easy admission. As opposed to her, what? Her denying it, which would also be an easy admission? How was she supposed to react to you asking her a question without admitting anything? If she denied it, that would be an admission. If she accepted it, that's an admission. If she fucking just blasted him with water, that's still an admission.
Yeah.
Like, that's... My name was invoked. They brought me here. Okay, so we're just completely going to ignore the previous chapter, I guess. They brought me here by invoking my name. If I didn't respond every time my name was invoked, my name would never be able to be unassociated with this trial.
What?
Did they invoke her name, or did they just talk about justice? It could have been either.
What we were told is that the DA said at one point during his opening statement that the reason why Paige has to go to jail is because masters are bad and Fontaine fought masters in Australia, so therefore we need to unjustly persecute this one.
That's not at all what the statement Fontaine just made is coming across to me. It should literally have been, I will not have what I did in Australia associated with this sham.
Yeah, it really sounds like she does not give a singular fuck about the trial. At all.
Also, if I didn't show up every time my name was invoked, people would invoke my name. That doesn't make any sense. If the goal is that for people to stop invoking your name, you should have gone, oh, they invoked my name. Whatever. Saying my name won't get me to appear. You've done the opposite.
Castigate them with, like, if a reporter asks, hey, at the trial, your name was invoked, and then they found her guilty. How do you feel about that? And she just goes, I think it's really stupid, and they shouldn't have invoked my name. I think that's a really disrespectful thing to do to all the people that have suffered under Ziz. I'd be like, oh, wow, blown the fuck out, 10 out of 10. And she's like,
Or even if we really want to go with, if for whatever reason we're leaning into the chaotic, stupid angle, just mods, vibrate the DA's body.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, yeah, it's. This is what I'm
Mods,
talking about. Mixed
vibrate their
messages.
molecules.
It's just so fucking mixed. It's just what is the point of these scenes? What are these scenes trying to tell us? Because we're just getting 92 different messages and none of them fucking interlocked. He couldn't deny that was true. Huh?
What?
Canary was a master with features that reminded people of the Smirk. She's got like 3 fucking feathers. Oh, guys, this person has feathers. They're the Smirk! Smirk!
And they're a master. Don't forget that. Like,
Oh yeah, they're a
Well, okay.
master. Yeah, if you just
Okay, look, I
listen
can
to them
believe the
sing.
general populace being that stupid, actually. but-
Mm.
Oh yeah, I can totally believe the general populace being that stupid, but not legend.
Yeah.
Fontaine defeating the Endbringer was still recent. Using her as a motivation to incarcerate a master, assumed villainous, was a smart move in theory. No, because what if Fontaine disagrees? Then
What if
actually it
Fontaine
massively
said
backfires. Well, no, it's
Yeah,
just
what
like,
if Fontaine...
what if this trial gets published, right? Like, the opening statements of the trial get published to the news, and everyone watches the news, and Fontaine then goes on the news and says, hey, yeah, I think this trial is a sham. Don't invoke my name like that. I support Paige. Well, you've just blown the fuck open your own case against this master because the person you said everyone needs to listen to and follow the example of just said you're wrong.
Yeah.
Did I just hear that right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on.
Mm.
Canary was a master about using him in theory. In practice, it incensed the most powerful teenager in the world to throw a tantrum out of spite. That's the dumbest thing I've heard all month.
He clearly hasn't been paying attention to the podcast.
Hold on, don't. It's the dumbest thing you've heard so far. Wait till the next sentence.
So far. Oh.
Holy fuck. I just. We've entered an alternate fucking reality. True. In theory, what's the worst thing that can happen when you stand up and say, I don't know, what person could we possibly use here? We need to put this child trafficker away because if we don't stand up to scum like Lung, well, where would we be as a civilization? So we need to put this guy away because he's just as bad as Lung. I can't believe Lung exploded the trial room and burned everyone to death inside. What do you mean?
I can't believe Lung
in
showed up
theory,
and said, how dare you talk about me?
In theory, I thought invoking Lung would inspire everyone to put the guy away. It's like, what do you mean in theory? In theory, the best outcome of you invoking someone's name is that they come in and kill you. Like, that's...
Oh, this is, you know what? I've been scrolling through things. I think this is one of my new favorite fiction rules. The Danny DeVito rule. If replacing the character with Danny DeVito means they're a psycho, they were actually always a psycho, and you were blinded because they were hot.
True. Very true. Yes, this is actually a very accurate and true and real rule.
If Grey from 50 Shades of Grey looked like Danny DeVito, no one would read that book.
I don't know. He had a lot of money. And there are some women who are interested in Danny DeVito.
okay, most people would consider it a psycho.
Okay. Because this is what it all amounted to. This whole thing was just a powerful teenager throwing a tantrum out of spite for people invoking her name. Her problem wasn't even that they invoked her name, though. The problem was that they invoked her name to do something that she disagreed with on a moral level. Wildly different. I would hang that book on my wall. That would be the best crack story ever, where where Danny DeVito enacts all of 50 Shades of Grey on some girl. He's the trash man.
Aw. Trash man for the trash fetish.
True. Real. Well, if you want to stick around, you can pick a seat and watch the show. I don't want to waste my time here any more than you do. Was this supposed to be Taylor? I'm fucking having an aneurysm.
I don't know anymore.
We have officially lost the plot.
Bros, we have lost the plot. It has been 200 words, and we have lost the plot. A show. You didn't think I was just here to tell someone off, right? They tossed my name into this mess, so now I'm gonna see through this trial whether they like it or not. I understand, and really, he did. He got that this sort of thing. Wait, What? He sort of got this thing if he was right. Okay, and then now reading it that way makes sense. Okay. Why?
My brother. Oh. I hope Alvor stopped listening.
Bro, I hope he never listens to this fucking podcast. I will feel genuinely awful if he deletes this story. So I explicitly told him not to delete this story. I've explicitly told him not to delete any of his stories. Well, okay. That Sekiro Naruto one, I did tell him to delete because that was fucking awful. that's
like, listen,
totally different reason.
If Alvor starts deleting stories, it's one less story with mostly acceptable grammar on the internet, and that's a crime because more of these people need to learn how to goddamn read.
I mean, look, it's wild. Okay, I'm looking at this frame here. It looks like he actually got an award for this chapter. Yeah, he actually got an award for this chapter. Someone paid for an award for this chapter. So,
jeez.
Yeah. Oh, 300 likes. No, it was unknown. It doesn't say who gave the award, I think. Oh, they wanted to stay anonymous. Okay. I would too. God, I hope he doesn't watch
God
this. My critique about dialogue tags has been vindicated. No, dude, I agreed with you way long ago. Like 2 hours ago, I was agreeing with you about the dialogue tags. It's just, you don't technically need them, but they are so helpful. It is crazy that people don't use them. You know what actually it is? People don't use dialogue tags because they feel like it's some sort of crutch. Or they're retarded.
That's true.
I mean, either way.
Like, I don't even write it, and I still think that's stupid.
Yeah, but it's so stupid, it's probably true.
God damn it.
Okay, so Legend simply nodded and played along. Wait, so Legend's now referring to himself in third person? After, literally, in the
I am
sentence
Legend,
before?
and I shall use the royal we. Wait, no, hang on. Well, I'm gonna use the royal we now because I'm Legend.
Like, oh my god, I'm like a king or something.
Slay King. Wait, no, not in the French
Please.
way.
Oh.
Yeah, those poor French kings, those gay little French kings, they never looked at head in the same way.
Ah!
Correction, this stream deserves the award, fuck you.
I mean, you're correct. However,
Does that mean you're gonna donate to us?
don't
Anyway,
give us your
so
money. That's a phenomenal waste of your money.
you should absolutely give us your money. It's a phenomenal waste of money. Let's see. In that case, I nominate myself for prosecuting attorney. Fontaine narrowed her eyes, glancing at the man in question, who paled further but stopped short of actually cowering. Before speaking up, well, it's your head on the line. Do you want him to represent you? My head. Oh, yes. I want Legend to represent me. The state. I want Legend to represent the state. The teenager shied and shrugged. Okay, very well then, but an actor makes a poor audience, so Legend, you may take the stage, but you'll need to call in someone from the Protectorate and the PRT to replace you. That was my original request. He wouldn't be the one to make that call, but he did stride towards the say, judging that 2 people had been sent in by how Fontaine settled fully in her throne. What? I think I had a stroke. We're just gonna keep going. If it would be all right with everyone, and I'm assuming you wouldn't let them go. She glared when he gestured towards the judge and DA and Legend and... Wait, he gestured towards Legend? Okay. Okay. We're just gonna keep going. That being the case, might I request they serve in the role of my assistants, supporting characters to make sure I know all of my lines.
What?
I would really love some internal monologue right now from Legend explaining what the fuck is going on. Thank you, please. Only if Canary gets her own Greek choir too?
What?
What the fuck is going on?
I'm so glad I'm not the only one confused. Normally, I think it's because I'm only paying
Did you-
about a quarter of attention to this show. But listen, I stopped everything I was doing. I'm actually trying to pay attention now.
Trying to process. Like, this is what I would say. I'm trying to process this. And it's just 2 fucking gears grinding against each other.
This is so stupid. I have to pay attention.
This is making me more confident in my own writing. Well, you should be. You're a good writer. Miss Mickaby, would you like to retain your public defender? Still fully locked away in her restraints, the woman tried and failed to shrug before simply waving her hands. Wait.
Again,
wait,
why has she...
in-
She's so... If she's supposed to be concerned with this being a fair trial, why is she leaving Canary in this shit?
How is she waving her hands? Her full body should be restrained.
She's in brute restraints. She's in restraints that would make Bane look normal.
Okay. And if you'd be willing to stay, and would you be willing to stay? The man in question, young, barely out of college, was clearly overwhelmed. More than that, he looked exhausted and wanted to be anywhere but the center of attention. I'm afraid, Your Honor, Fontaine knowledge and acknowledgement. Well, Your
I
Honor,
feel like I'm
as
going
I've said,
schizophrenic.
wouldn't Taylor
More
want to
than
be the
usual, I
attorney?
mean.
Yeah, well, she's also the judge. I don't know why she wouldn't also be the attorney, because she's ruling on the case of whether it's legitimate or not. Yeah, she's the judge. She's supposed to be the judge, but I don't understand why she wouldn't also be the attorney in this case, because she's supposed to be showing up so she can defend Paige because she believes that Paige is being unjustly persecuted. But apparently, like I said, this is one of those cases where they weren't fucking communicating, because she's just pulling a Farina. She's just
Like-
showing up. She's like, "You named me. I'm now the judge." Oh, what's that? Paige Mickabee? I don't know her.
What you? Oh.
But we need to know her motivations. Yeah, exactly. We're not getting anything here.
Yeah. Also, real
Um,
quick, I just want to say one thing, Toaster fucker. If this schizophrenic thing should not be making you more confident in your own writing, because if this is what it takes to make confident in your own writing, you have way too low of a bar for yourself.
True.
Just far too low of a bar. I'm sorry, Alvor, but I don't know if you wrote this. I don't know if your co-author wrote this. I don't know if you two ground this together in two separate gears. This is schizophrenic. I feel like I'm going insane.
Yeah. Frankly, she deserves someone with a smidge more experience. Whoever is using smidge, I'm going to punch you in the dick so fucking hard, you're going to think it's 2016.
Wait, what does that have to do with punching them in the dick?
They'll find out. It was clear the poor man was doing everything he could to not melt. Probably because it was brought about the fact that the air was humid enough to make everyone sweat. Hardly fair to put her up against such steep odds. I know, let's make everything really truly fair here. Only for Canary's restraints to burst open, including her gag. So, Mickabee, what do you have to say? Oh my god,
Also,
that was such a Genshin
why have
moment.
you
Oh my
recommended me
god.
It is.
Yeah, it was.
It was a massive Genshin moment.
Also, I just want to be clear here. When he said this story was doing numbers, I thought it was doing good. My brother in Christ, you have 258 upvotes. Your story is not doing numbers. You are a Genshin Worm crossover, and you have 200 favorites.
What's the? I'm trying to think of a good bar. What's like the 10th most popular thing? What numbers is that looking at?
For Worm
Thousands.
or for Genshin?
For Worm Genshin.
I don't think there's really any
for Worm
crossovers
Genshin,
in
there's
general.
not too many, but just in general for Worm, you're looking at a halfway decent Worm story getting about 1,000. Yeah. Like per chapter, fairly easily. And I'm using Undying Scarab as the benchmark there, because that's around the numbers we're getting on each chapter. I don't think Undying Scarab's some fucking miraculous story. I think it's crazy we've gotten that many favorites per chapter, but hold on, let me view the content thread marks here. All right, so they have a more respectable 3,600 watchers. So that's good numbers. But that's 3,600
Okay, yeah, that's a good number,
watchers.
actually.
Yeah, that's a really good, solid number. That probably puts them in the top 60 Worm stories.
Yeah.
However, 3,600 follows, and you're only getting 300 favorites on a chapter. I
don't know what the ratio on that is. I'm not gonna.
That's
comment.
not a great ratio. it's more of like a 1/4 ratio I've seen for a lot of stories. Like 6,000 follows gets you around like 2,000 to like 1,500 to 2,000 likes on every chapter.
Okay.
The most popular
Yeah, like I
Worm
said,
Genshin story on
didn't know what
Space
the
Battles has
ratios on that
1,000
were.
likes. Okay, so there is one. So Worm Genshin story, Second Archon War. I think I remember that. Seeing that, I think I hated it too. 1,000 likes on the first chapter. So what did their first chapter get? Well, let's compare first chapters here. Okay, so first chapter, 500. Oof. That's rough. Yeah. This is what I'm saying here. You're crushing your ability to advertise yourself in the future for 500 upvotes. Unless you're making some mad money off commissioning, that's not worth it, dude. In my opinion. Oh wait, hold on. Prologue? Oh wait, maybe the prologue's got more. Okay, maybe I might have picked the wrong chapter. Hold on, let me prologue. Prologue. Okay, prologue. 1,000. Okay, that's better. Not great though. Not great that halfway into your story you only get 500 when your first chapter has 1,000, and now your newest chapter's got 300. That's not a good arc. But I can understand now more why he's saying he trusts Wyvern because of the initial numbers. So I'm getting
Yeah,
it more
that
now.
makes more sense.
That makes more sense. But yeah, I'll compose a DM for him, talking more about this chapter in specific. But yeah. Anyway, come back Tuesday.